5 years.
I know, but of course they don't do that in football either.
Yeah, so I'm just saying Auburn, when Bruce Pearl's time is done, if it's at the end of this year or next, Stephen Pearl, if he takes over, has a better chance of continuing it than anybody who follows Chris Beard at Ole Miss. That's not breaking news. That's just Auburn's a better basketball program now because of Bruce Pearl than Ole Miss.
Yeah, they've certainly
is after Chris Beard.
But the discussion was
but it's so early in Beard's tenure.
Yeah, I just don't know that. I don't know that Beard will stay there as long as Pearl has stayed at Auburn.
Yeah, you're an idiot if you're Indiana and you don't hire him. You're an idiot if North Carolina comes open if you don't go after him. You're an idiot if the Texas Tech guy leaves and goes to Indiana and you don't rehire him at Texas Tech.
No, I agree. I'm just saying
you're really an idiot if you don't get rid of the guy you got at Texas and hire him back at Texas.
Beg him back.
As good as the SEC is right now, I'm just saying if Beard stays as long as Pearl stayed, I think it'll be similar results.
Ooh,
maybe. I mean, Bruce has
Final Four.
Bruce has had some early exits since that Final Four run.
I mean, really, that was the only run he's had.
Other than the Final Four run, he's had early exits.
That's right. So at Auburn, he was good at Tennessee. He run some deep runs. Show brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill. Tell us about Hemp Hill.
If you have any heating, cooling, or plumbing issues in your home or business, our friends at Hemp Hill Services, they are ready to serve you. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Trust and number, Birmingham has trust since 1954 for all of these issues. 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
All right, Auburn fans, I want you to become a member of thebarnauburn.com and join in on the fun. Whether it's recruiting discussions, off-season chatter, or the latest Auburn athletics news, we've got it all. Get $25 off your annual subscription when you sign up for your account at thebarnauburn.com today. War Eagle.
When you crave activity like we do, you belong in the Roback family. Get the best golf wear, hoodies, and activewear for men and women at Roback.com. Use promo code TNR20 to get 20% off your order. That's Roback.com, promo code TNR20.
Alabama loves champions, and you know what they say. The more, the merrier. The Alabama High School Basketball Finals, presented by Alabama Community College System, February 27th to March 1st on APT.
By now, you guys know how I feel about my fashion. However, did you know that I care about your fashion choices? Cargo shorts are out, flip-flops are only appropriate on the boat, and please throw away that stained t-shirt from college. You may be thinking, EG, that's all I own. What do I do? Here's what you do. Go to nextround.store and fill your cart with a wardrobe that is approved by me. Stock up on logo t-shirts, hoodies for football season, and hats for every day of the week. Trust me on this one and head over to nextround.store to get stocked up for this season.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Do you need some refreshed college wear to represent your team this year? Shop Roback's Game Day collection that includes both Alabama and Auburn. From quarter zips to hoodies, Roback has it all. Get 20% off on us using code TNR20 at roback.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Saw a headline over the weekend, we'll get to it, that said the Rams have given Matthew Stafford permission to talk, and I thought, what a great opportunity for us to call him up. Let's get Stafford on the show. He's got permission to talk right now. We'll talk about the NFL, the Combine underway today in Indianapolis. Quarterbacks saying, at least one of them saying they're not going to throw. It's not that big a deal, but we'll talk about the Combine coming up. Some college football news, changing kickoff rules coming to the NFL. Stop me if you've heard this before. But we'll start with college basketball. I want to start with this before we get into the games we saw this weekend. Can we start questioning this KenPom thing that we love and we use it all the time like it's the basketball Bible of who's good and who's not good?
This is the analytics site that you once claimed. I care more about that than the Associated Press poll.
Yeah.
Okay,
but that's what basketball insiders are supposed to say.
No. I'm just saying that Does it not factor in strength of schedule, Brown?
Because it's in there.
Because Duke now is number 1 in the KenPom again.
Right.
And Auburn is number 2. And that comes on a day where Auburn could be unanimously number 1 in the AP poll again. I'm just asking. I know they beat the brakes off Illinois. Duke did 110-67. But this Illinois team's shorthanded. They're not the team they were. They could get good again. But there's your KenPom ranking, and it's almost 3 full points that Duke's ahead of Auburn.
Look over there in that right column. You mentioned strength of schedule. Auburn is 19, Duke is 23. It's really not that different.
No. I mean, you look at Duke's out of conference.
I mean, that's where their strength of schedule is built. Not that Auburn played a bad out of conference. I mean, they played Iowa State, Duke, Houston, Purdue. Auburn played a really good out of conference themselves.
Math was nowhere near my major. I'll go ahead and tell you. But other than Duke beating Auburn head-to-head on Duke's home floor by a few points, Auburn's got 14, is it, quad 1 wins right now?
Yep.
Now, that's the net. I know that. But they got 14 wins that I think we would all agree are pretty high up there. And, I mean, you break those numbers down for me all the time. So Duke's schedule is that good, you think?
I'm going to pull it back. I mean, they lost to Kentucky out of conference.
Thank you.
They beat Arizona. Arizona probably better at chance than basketball this year.
Arizona's better at what than basketball?
Chance. I don't know if you saw after they beat BYU.
Arizona's got, they're 12 in the KenPom, though.
They lost to Kansas.
Yeah,
they beat Auburn, and that was it out of conference.
Kansas is 21 in the KenPom.
I mean, really, Kentucky, Arizona, Kansas, and Auburn were there out of conference.
So Auburn's out of conference. They did that in Maui. They did that on the island.
Yeah,
the Big Island, Little Island. I don't know which island they were on, but they did that on the island.
Well, to put in perspective, I don't think they've played a ranked team since they played Auburn.
Clemson, maybe, if they were ranked at the time.
They weren't.
Mm-hmm. They are now.
So I keep this KenPom thing open. Do I need to close it over here on my iPad? I got a lot of stuff open.
Keep it open. Maybe there's a fly in the ointment.
Well, look, I know
KenPom.
We have Stephen Pearl on every Tuesday, and he talks about he's an analytical guy and he respects KenPom, and I think a lot of these coaches do. But I mean, can you ever look back and say, man, that team they were a top 2 KenPom team all year?
Yeah,
I mean, much like the conference championship in basketball. I think nobody really remembers that.
Yeah. Last year it was Tennessee, by the way, in the regular season. Auburn won the conference tournament. Alabama went to the Final Four. Who had a better taste in their mouth when the season was over?
Definitely Alabama.
Yeah, it's
not even close.
About the NCAA tournament.
Can I, while we're on this, because this gets mentioned in the mybookie.ag chat room too, how does Alabama beat Kentucky at home Saturday and Duke beat Illinois neutral site Saturday? And for Joe Lunardi, Duke jumps Alabama to the overall number 2. How does that make sense?
Latest bracketology, Forrester has that too. Auburn's still the number 1 overall seed.
With a gap.
Now, had Lunardi done one since the Missouri loss?
He had. Okay. He had factored in the Missouri loss already.
Duke is next on the 1 line. Then Alabama's next on the 1 line. Then Florida. By the way, Alabama's last 4 games against all top 20 teams. 3 of them against teams in the top 5 in the national rankings.
Yeah, not only had Lunardi done one since the Alabama loss to Missouri, he pointed out that the Alabama loss to Missouri did not drop them from the overall number 2. So then Alabama beats Kentucky.
Yeah.
And Duke beats Illinois. And by the way, in any of the
Kentucky 12 on that line.
In any of the analytical measurements, Kentucky's a better team than Illinois. The net has Kentucky better. KenPom has Kentucky better. Joe Lunardi has Kentucky better.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you go through Illinois is not in the top 20.
No, that was weird to me.
Yeah.
I could not figure out what he's doing.
Makes no sense.
No.
This bracketology, this KenPom. And there's a new one now. Is it Evan Williams or Eva?
Evan Williams is that's a bourbon.
It's a bourbon, yeah.
That's Alabama and bourbon.
There's a new one people are throwing out there now. Eva Maya.
Eva Mendez?
It may be.
Eva Maya?
There's something. See, you look at all the sites.
I can't take another one.
There's another statistical one. It starts with an E. I think there's an M in there somewhere.
Okay, so I need to find the basketball statistical analysis that starts with an E and has an M in there somewhere.
All we need is Vanner White to come turn the letters around right now.
I'll see if I can find it before the show's over.
Okay, let's get to the games that we saw on the court this past weekend. We'll start with Alabama's big win after Brownie tells us about image craft.
Right here on this piece of paper, because if you print a lot, so you're a mortgage company, you're a real estate office, you are a tax service, school, car dealership, that you guys are printing a lot, and you know that you can burn through some money in printer and copier supplies. Well, ImageCraft has low-cost printer and copier supplies, and they will ship anywhere that they've got in stock, anywhere in the Birmingham metro area, anything they got in stock. They will free ship outside the area. You could shop in their store in Trussville, right there, very, very close to the Pinnacle Shopping Center on Gadsden Highway, or online at imagecraft.net. I'll give you a discount code momentarily. They carry all the major brands: HP, Brother, Canon, Dell, Lexmark, Konica Minolta, Kyocera, Ricoh, Sharp, and Xerox. You can get the in-store discount with code TNR. That's 10% off. Online at imagecraft.net, TNR10 for the discount there. ImageCraft, print more, spend less.
All right. More from Mark Sears. 30-plus again. Did 35 in the loss at Missouri. Did 30 in the win against Kentucky this weekend. 96-83. Here's Nate Oats on what he's seeing now from Captain Mark Sears.
I think he just wants to win. I think he came back to try to win a national championship, came back to try to play his way into the NBA. Winning solves a lot of that stuff, and I think he's not worried about, if you look, he's not really forcing it, pressing it. He got stuck in the lane where, like in the past, I think he would have thrown up a bad shot. He kicks it out. I think Holloway, hit a three off, if I remember correctly. We got a good shot off the possession. He's trying to play the right way. He's as coachable as he's ever been, and his effort on defense has been through the roof really the last 3-4 weeks or so. So I just a combination of let's get him to lead, let's play the right way on both sides of the ball, give us total effort on defense, and I think he's been doing that. And I'm super happy with the way he's been playing.
I think it was 20-9, and then Sears went on a little Sears run by himself, like a three-pointer or a steal or an offensive foul, a bucket at the other end. He woke him up and got him back into the game. He's playing really good basketball right now, and Holloway was there as his sidekick, his scoring mate with 19 the other day.
Yeah, Holloway was great, the 19, 23 minutes off the bench. But, Sears 11-11 from the line. And I thought it was really interesting that Alabama still turnover problem, 15 turnovers. Sears only had 2 turnovers, though.
Yeah, he has cleaned that up himself. And, the team may not have. Though I noticed Nate has changed his phrasing just a little bit to stupid turnovers.
Right.
Like, I think, as we've said all along, I think he accepts their pace of play is going to lead to some turnovers.
That's right.
It's impossible for it not to. You can't have stupid turnovers. And, a lazy inbound pass when a defender snowbirds and he gets the intercept and an easy lay-in, stuff like that. Those are stupid turnovers.
Yep.
You're going 90 miles an hour and, ball gets knocked away and it hits your leg, turnover. Yeah, it's not a stupid turnover, right? That's your offense.
Yeah.
Nylon, he had a couple of careless turnovers.
He can be a little careless with the ball. Nylon can.
Lost his dribble a couple of times.
Yeah, he did, but he also had a terrific steal that led to a lay-in and a pretty funny moment by him when he's smiling at the guy pointing at him.
Yeah.
Kids having fun playing basketball.
Which can get you teed up sometimes.
It can. That was all in good fun there. I'm glad the refs let that one go.
Yeah, good fun for Alabama fans.
Yeah.
Probably not for the Kentucky guy.
Yeah, he might have been smiling back. I couldn't see him. On Sears, everybody focused on the LSU situation where he got benched in the second half. I think you got to say that he responded exactly how you wanted him to.
Well,
we've had Lance more than just one game of response. We've now had several games of response. And like Nate Oats said, he might be playing the best basketball he's ever played.
Yeah, and I forgot exactly what was the clip, something about his coachability but gave Sears credit on that, and you could kind of tell it goes back to everything that kind of unfolded.
I think he reacted the way you – and again, I said this all along. I think Nate Oats knew how he was going to react, and that's how he's reacted. And he may be playing, according to Nate Oats, the best he's ever played at Alabama right now, which is saying something.
Here's Mark Sears on another big game. And knowing what's ahead, these final 4 games against Mississippi State, Tennessee, Florida, and Auburn, and then the postseason, he's trying to instill an attitude on this team.
You've been fiery these last few games. From an emotional standpoint, now that your 3rd year here, how comfortable are you as the leader and the alpha dog on this team?
We don't like losing. We lost 2 games in a row, and that's unacceptable here. Just going out there playing with the mindset of we can't afford another loss, especially 3 in a row. So you're just going out there and having that mindset of can't lose back to back. back-to-back.
And I just mentioned what's ahead for them, but this was a big game against a really dangerous Kentucky team that was shorthanded, missing some of their stars. But, man, you drop that one to Auburn at home, and then you go on the road to a hot Missouri team at their place and gave up a horrible defensive effort, gave up a ton of points. And then you came home. First off, the atmosphere fantastic by the Alabama fans. Packed to the roof again.
But you get down 12 in the first half.
It was crazy.
And, you close that first half on a really good run. I think it was a 29-10 run to go up 7 at halftime. But when they got down 12.
I really thought here it goes again.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't think Alabama was going to lose the game at that point, but I'm like, my gosh, they were having to dig out of another hole. They dug at it a lot quicker this time.
Now, I mean, they were up 2-0 in the first 30 seconds, so they finally had the lead. But after that, Kentucky did take control for a little bit. And, I agree with you, Dunaway. I mean, it's a dangerous Kentucky team that can score. And for Alabama to take care of business by double digits, and by the way, covered the 10.5.
Yes, they
good
did.
job. By the way, covered the 10.5.
Can I was thinking about this driving to work today. There would have been a day where Alabama beating Kentucky, I mean, even in Coleman Coliseum, not just in Rupp, but in Coleman Coliseum, this would have been like, just a watershed moment for Alabama basketball. Like, we would have come in to do a show today and people have been like, man, we beat Kentucky.
Yeah, this is like when Mississippi State beats Alabama in football.
Yeah. And it's to the point.
Or used to be.
It used to be?
Yeah.
And it's to the point now where this was a win where, all right, Alabama's.
Well, I'll put this in perspective.
They're back on track now.
So
They beat
Alabama
Kentucky.
swept the regular season.
That's right.
And so when I'm going back through notes yesterday, the last time Alabama swept Kentucky in the regular season.
When they played them twice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the 70s. I'll give you a hint.
When was it?
2021. So I'm just saying, like,
Oats era. Yeah.
This is,
Not
this
1921.
is, no. Okay. This is just kind of what Nate Oats does with this program now. I mean, these things are, kind of expected.
And my point is, where Nate Oats has this program, is that a win over Kentucky is a win that gets you back on track where you're supposed to be, not a, my God, we have arrived, we've beaten Kentucky. I mean, and some of that, too, is a commentary on where the Kentucky program has slipped, and Mark Pope's trying to dig it out from there.
Yeah.
But I think it's more a compliment to where Nate Oats has this program that you sweep Kentucky, and it's what you're supposed to do if you're Alabama.
I mean, but Kentucky, can I see Lunardi again? I mean, we talk about this Kentucky team, which is taken on some losses in the SEC, but still on a national scale.
No, they're a really good team.
They're almost
500 in the conference.
They're the 3 seed. They're almost a 4 seed, right on the 3-4 line, but they're a 3 seed right now, so they're going to be a top 4 seed when we get to the NCAA tournament. By the way, that's not garbage.
No.
And that's about what I consider them when you guys say they're right around 15.
I mean, they are 7-7 in the league. I mean, they're 7-7 in the league. I mean, that's a 500 team. I'm not saying it's a bad Kentucky team, but it is not where Kentucky once was. But it's also not where Alabama once was, where a season sweep over Kentucky would be like you've landed a man on Mars. If you're Alabama basketball, this is what you're supposed to do now. You're supposed
100%.
to sweep Kentucky.
Yeah, I'm just saying that Alabama's better than Kentucky right now. I agree with you. This isn't a horrible Kentucky team. He's rebuilding it, yes, but he's done a good job with it, and hats off to him. The official that did this is actually one of my favorite officials in the SEC. I was surprised that this happened. I got video. Watch this, right? I mean, Pope is working the official, and he walks away right here, says something. Now, this official follows him down the line. He never tees him up, but he walks down there waiting for him to say something. What do you think about when the official does that?
When the coach turns his back and walks away, that's the coach ending the argument. If you're the official,
you
how about
walk
watching
away.
the game? Watch the game. You got action going on.
Now
here.
watch. If he doesn't, if you don't tee him up right, whatever he says there, then don't walk.
That's right.
If
Don't
he didn't
chase me
say
down the
something to tee him
line.
up there, don't walk.
Yeah,
Brown's right. Turn around, face the action.
Yeah, now if he's standing there just barking at you, I don't know what level it's got to get a technical, but if it gets to that level, do it. But, I mean, if he's just going to walk away, turn his back and walk away.
Now, he says one thing right there. Now, if that's not a tee, then you just stay in your position. Don't walk down there to try to debate him into it.
I don't know if Kentucky finishes 500.
Oh, the odds would say they don't. They're 7-7 right now.
They got Auburn, I know.
Yeah, they've got at Oklahoma, so they're in Norman. Desperate Oklahoma team.
Yeah, Oklahoma got a big win Saturday, though.
Yeah, got them on the right side of the bubble.
Then you've got Auburn and Rupp. You've got LSU and Rupp. That's the only win I'll give them. And then you go on the road to Columbia to take on Missouri.
Yeah, what's the Auburn line, you think?
Auburn 4.
Yeah, because I still think Auburn could drop another regular season game here.
Maybe.
Maybe there, maybe against Alabama. I don't know, but I think Auburn could drop another one. That's certainly not an unwinnable game against Auburn.
No, but I mean, I think against Oklahoma, it's around a pick. They're dogs against Auburn. They're favored against LSU, and they're dog at Missouri.
I think the truth is they probably finish 500.
Yeah, probably.
I think that's about where they are.
Before LT tells you about Hemphill and the Lock, a little news on Auburn, Kentucky. From our friend Marlene down at the Auburn Sports Information. She let us know yesterday, 12 o'clock next Saturday on ABC, getting the traditional network treatment. Now, national broadcast.
We're rolling into March, Dunaway. That's what happens.
Is the phrase that it was used, national broadcast. Now, ESPN's, we put the national championship games on ESPN. That's national. We put the Final Four now on TNT, TBS. All this stuff is national broadcast. But to be on the traditional networks, you get some extra eyeballs, I believe, for that one. And Auburn at Rupp on ABC. Pretty cool there. I like that.
Yeah, I think I saw the last time they were was 98 was the last time they were on ABC. Now, ESPN ABC hasn't had the national package for a while.
Yeah, hadn't had the SEC package.
Yeah, I haven't had the SEC package.
Yeah, it's been on ESPN and then on CBS a lot. Hemphill brings us the lock every day. Lance'sLock.com. Tell us about Hemphill.
Another winning day yesterday. Did not have a losing day all week. 33-18 on the week. Jump on board, win with us. We're heating up as we roll into March Madness. Free play every single day at Lance'sLock.com. Always brought to you by our friends at Hemphill Services. Trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling issues. Any of these arise in your home or business. Our friends at Hemphill, Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there, ready to serve you. 205-229-2090, HemphillServices.com. It's hard to stop a train.
Let's talk Johni Broome first about the Auburn win over Georgia this past weekend, a game that was probably closer than a lot of us thought it was going to be. But Johni Broome, just this line, 31 points, 14 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 blocks. Here's Johni Broome after the game.
My teammates got me looks. My coaches got me in the right spots. And then, God just let the ball go through the basket. Nothing crazy. I just kind of, starting to get back to my normal self again.
They ran the offense through him. That game was a little stickier most of the way. Georgia playing their butt off, trying to get that marquee win that would have got them into the tournament maybe.
Well, it was a sticky game going back, a month ago when Broome didn't play in that game. And remember, it came down to that weird tip-in, the fall-away three, all that chaos in the final 30 seconds where they were actually down 8 and they cut it to a one-possession game and ended up losing by 2. But Auburn does pull away, and Broome was fantastic. And I think Broome, going into the weekend, he was plus 200 to win Player of the Year, and I think Flag was minus 350. Broome had a better week.
Yeah, 16 for Flag in Madison Square Garden in a blowout. He only played 23 minutes. But, again, like I said on KenPom, when I'm voting for the National Player of the Year, you got to factor in competition too, don't you?
You would think. Again, but it's Duke. If Cooper Flag's playing for Pittsburgh or Miami, I think Broome's got this thing. Yeah. But based on the fact that he's playing for Duke, if he was playing for Carolina or Duke, it's a little bit different.
I got a gut feeling that Broome's going to end up winning this thing.
MyBookie.ag has odds for the John Wooden Award. There's different Player of the Year. There's a Naismith Player of the Year and a Wooden. They only have odds for the Wooden. Cooper Flag is minus 549, Broome minus 236. Is that significant?
It's weird how you have two favorites.
Well, that's the only guy they got. That's the only two they got up there.
That makes no sense.
Yeah.
So I've stumbled into an odd betting trend.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't win there. I mean, Flag, though, minus 5+. I'm surprised it's at that number because I did see over the weekend it was minus 350.
That's the Wooden Award. Yeah. You may have seen the Naismith. I don't know.
But away from that, for the team, last 2 games, I was there for the Arkansas game and then watched the Georgia game from Coleman Coliseum on Saturday. And they have not been the smoothest of performances from this Auburn basketball team, but they've beaten two desperate teams who are trying to get in to the NCAA tournament with a win over the number one team in the country. How do you digest that of what you've seen with Auburn in these last two home games?
I would. They have played two desperate teams, there's no doubt, but I would think Auburn's last two performances are okay.
Just kind of still, of like
okay.
You weren't surprised with Arkansas, and as you said, desperate team, but you're coming off that big Alabama win on the road, so you thought they'd be a little flat there, and maybe just Georgia just matches up kind of well with this Auburn team.
Yeah, again, Auburn has set a standard by the way they have played the rest of the year that when you beat Georgia and Arkansas the way they beat them, it's only okay. I mean, they're wins. That's all that really matters. But if you're asking me to grade the level of wins in comparison to the games they've played the rest of this year, those probably don't measure up to the level of play that Auburn
You
has
mentioned probably another regular season loss. If I put the losses at 1.5 on these 4 games, would you go under 1.5?
So Auburn's last 4 games?
Yeah, 4-0, 3-1, 2-2.
They won't lose 2. They may lose 1.
I mean, they've got Ole Miss at home favored, at Kentucky favored, at A&M favored, and Bama at home favored. But those are tough games.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an easy finish. I could see them losing 2 more, but again, it's not going to matter.
Back to something that was brought up last week. If Duke has these final 4 games, what's Duke's record?
Yeah, exactly.
1-3.
I don't think they're 1-3, but I think they're 2-2.
Yeah.
And I think Auburn's probably 3-1.
Okay, now do Alabama's with Duke.
Oh, if Duke played the rest of Alabama's schedule, they'd be 1-3.
Mississippi State at home at Tennessee, Florida at home at Auburn.
Yeah. 1-3.
1-3. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
Because I'm not sure Florida's not the best team in the country right now. If you just do a snapshot right now,
even without Alex Condon right now, he's coming back.
He's coming back.
He's got to be back.
Yeah, he'll be back. But
probably for the Alabama game.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
I mean, that's the way the ball bounces, as they say, right?
Yep.
So was the atmosphere Saturday close to what you got last week?
With Auburn?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I mean, that Auburn one was historic.
Well, the only reason I bring it up is because Alabama was down so quickly in that game.
Yeah, but they weren't down. Are you talking about the Auburn game?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that was historic. Every time they would get close, the roof was about to come off that place. And the fact that Alabama didn't get behind 9-0, 12-0, there was that energy in the building. Now, when it was 20-9, it was it got a little quiet. Kentucky fans, a lot of them, making some noise.
But I'll tell you when
About the same, by the way, Kentucky and Auburn fans.
It was Aiden Holloway when he crossed over. I forgot who the Kentucky Wildcat was, and he missed the 3. But if he would have hit it, and I think it was Jimmy Dykes that brought that up.
He broke his ankles.
He did.
Yeah.
Did you think it was a little much having Dick Vitale and Jimmy Dykes on there?
Yeah. Can we address that?
Yeah.
Let's finish this up.
It's just uncomfortable.
Yeah, I want to get back to Dick Vitale.
Because what do you do if you're Jimmy Dykes?
Yeah.
Here's Bruce Pearl on just what Brownie and LT were talking about, the winning and surviving, what has been a long, grueling SEC basketball season.
It's just about survival, right? That's what it's really about. The league is so good and so competitive. And to see Georgia come in here and play so hard and had a great game plan. They played a little 3-2 zone or 1-2-2 zone. Haven't played it hard at all year. I told Coach White I thought that was a great call because it caught us off guard. And we managed to find a few things that we could do that was good. We scored 80 points, 59. In the second half, we made some good adjustments in the second half. But that was a good move. We're great against zone. Just hadn't prepared at all for it. Beating Georgia matters to Auburn. It matters to me. I believe that's 13 out of the last 16, and that's pretty good stretch against one of your rivals.
Yeah, so that's the win over Georgia. By the way, the Field of 68, who has a lot of basketball minds that write for it. Auburn being judged by Auburn standard now, as the team that's been number one since mid-January.
Yeah.
Auburn was merely good, not great, in a win Saturday over Georgia.
I think that's fair. I think the same thing with Arkansas is those are okay wins with comparison to what you've done the rest of the year. But here's the good thing about it. They're not going to give you the 1 seed based on good or bad wins. It's based on wins.
That's right.
It's based on wins.
Yeah.
So if Auburn just continues to win, in fact, They're very close to locking down the SEC regular season championship.
Yeah, magic number. I'm bad with magic numbers, but you take Auburn wins and either Florida, Alabama losses. I think the magic number's 3, the combination of wins and losses. Yeah.
And they're you just don't know what this actual magic number is, but they're also very close to locking down the overall number 1 seed. Now, only the selection committee can tell you what they have to do that. But they are very close to doing whatever they have to do.
When you play in this league, much like the NFL, it is difficult to be dominant every single game. Even Florida was down pretty significantly in Baton Rouge this weekend. They ended up winning the game kind of going away, but they didn't play their best basketball.
Okay, these guys have a thought on Dick Vitale after I tell you about our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing. Greg from Pell City there to help you as we move into a new week. The spring storm season is coming. Have a trusted name on standby if you have roof damage. He'll come out and help you with the insurance and what you need to do before the insurance provider shows up. Make that first call to Greg. 205-542-3531, 542-3531, just a trustworthy name. In fact, he's got some inside information for you about changing insurance policies on how they settle older roofs. So if you got a roof that's older than 5 or 6 years, maybe you need to check your insurance policy, and Greg will give you some information. Just call him up on the cell phone, 205-542-3531. He's A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. You can find him on Facebook, Greg from Pell City. 10 kids, a lot of them work on the crews. He and his wife run the company. I mean, that's as implanted into the local community as you can be. That's why you got to trust a local guy. Storm Restoration Roofing, Greg from Pell City. Brownie.
Look, I love that Dick Vitale loves college basketball. I love that Dick Vitale has been a great philanthropist in helping raise money to cure childhood cancer. I think they said during the game it's almost $100 million now. I think that's what he said, Lance, which is very, very noble, and he's used his platform, as we all should, for a very good thing. And I respect the fact that he has battled through cancer as much as he has to get back to where he is. It has obviously affected his voice, and the whole thing with the Jimmy Dykes thing is they didn't plan on Dick doing games this year, so you can't just tell Jimmy, sit this one out. So they've got to shoehorn Dick Vitale into these other crews because he doesn't have his own crew.
It's almost you pay Jimmy Dykes 75 cents on the dollar just to, hey, look, we've got a like. I think Jimmy Dykes' representation would probably understand, like, we didn't really know this. We've got to be delicate with this situation. But 2 voices on there because Dykes doesn't know when to jump in.
I know, and they talked over each other a lot.
Yeah, it wasn't a great broadcast.
And I think, too, Lance, they got to have 2 guys there because I'm not sure if
his voice goes
out.
His
voice is going to hold out the whole game because it's tough. It's scratchy because of the cancer. I mean, I understand that. I'm not saying – I mean, it can be tough to listen to at times, but I completely get it. I understand it. My thing with Dick Vitale is we've – like, Billis is really good at what he does. Really good at what he does. I think Jimmy Dykes is good at what he does. I'm trying to think of some of the other guys. Hendrix, who's going to be on the show. Those guys, the way it's done now, and I think you see this in college football and the NFL, like Herb Street and Troy Aikman and those guys. Those guys aren't storytellers. They're giving you the X's and O's of why things are working. They're not doing it in like the super nerdy, you're an idiot, you can't understand football or basketball kind of way. They're explaining to you why things are not working, why a player is playing well, is not playing well. And you've never gotten that out of Dick Vitale, and it's so obvious now because that's what everybody does. And Dick Vitale comes on and he does a talk show. That's what he does during a game, is a talk show. We spent a lot of that game talking about who should be the SEC Coach of the Year, who should be the SEC Player of the Year, how many teams should get in out of the SEC, who should be 1 seeds. I mean, that's talk show stuff. That's not game stuff. And I just think when a lot of people watch the game, they don't care about who should be the SEC Coach of the Year or the player. While action's going on. If that's dead ball conversation, that's one thing. This is happening during action, and that's just the way Vitale's always done it. But it's more obvious now that you've got all these guys that are so good at explaining to you how the game works, and Dick Vitale's more of a storyteller.
Yeah.
And to me, Lance, that was the other big issue in that.
Yeah. I didn't see the broadcast, so I won't comment on that. Inside the stadium, he went up, spent time with Nate Oats.
Is he moving around okay?
Alabama Basketball sends a photographer up there, takes pictures. Nate tweets it out. Very excited to have Dick Vitale with Alabama Basketball this weekend. He's taking pictures with students, still resonates with them. Wants pictures taken with the students, other fans, older fans, taking pictures. And they stop during one of the timeouts. They don't stop the game, but during one of the timeouts, it's a standing ovation in the arena. It's like, please welcome to Tuscaloosa today. This is during the game. Dick Vitale, who's back courtside with us today for Alabama basketball.
And they should do that.
And he stands up, and it's a standing ovation
and
for
they
Dick
should
Vitale
be.
during a timeout.
I don't know how you guys feel, but to me, Dick Vitale bigger in basketball than Corso is football.
He was,
and,
yeah,
and it may
100%.
sound hypocritical or conflicting or whatever, since I've said Corso should stay as long as Corso wants, but I think ESPN has realized Corso's limitations. They give him a little bit at the start, a little bit in the middle, and then bring him on for what everybody wants to see him do. That's make the picks.
Yep.
And I think eventually you'll see Corso only out there making the picks. And that'll be somewhat of a sad day that it's come to that. But, you know, with Vitale, as you mentioned, he's there the whole game. And Jimmy Dykes is trying to explain to you why stuff's working and not working, and Vitale's doing a talk show. It was just a lot. It was a lot.
Our friends at Way to Wellness getting you ready for another great week as you roll in to the spring lake and beach season. Maybe it's a little pickleball time for you. About to get out there and do a little pickleball. Want to get in better shape? Way to Wellness can help it happen for you. Planforme.com, planforme.com. That's where Leslie and her board-certified team are standing by for a free consultation. There's no contract, by the way, so you're not locked into something for 12, 24, 36 months. You can drop it any time if you don't like it, if it's not working for you. But let me tell you, from someone who's done it a couple of times and maintains it all the time, it works. Way to Wellness. They've got meal replacements, protein bars, which I'm going to eat one here in a second, injection therapy if you need that. It's all right there. Planforme.com. Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. We'll get to some football news when we come back. And Richard Hendrix back to basketball. He's our guest today at 10 a.m. Central Time to start hour 2. This is the next round from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studio, presented by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
No matter the occasion, the Next Round store has you covered with whatever you need. Head over to nextround.store and start filling your cart up now. When you wear your gear, make sure to let us know by posting on socials, and you might just end up seeing yourself during a commercial break. Go browse now at nextround.store and place your order before the break ends.
When the clock hits 0, go to all Next Round video platforms for instant reactions for the latest Auburn and Alabama basketball games. Follow, like, subscribe, and set those alerts. The madness starts now, so be a part of it at Next Round Live on all social platforms.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Looking for a great place for that boring meeting? Leave the office and go to the Golfus. What about corporate events like board meetings, sales meetings, customer appreciation events? How about the Golfus? Watch parties for football and basketball, parties for birthdays or couple showers. The Golfus is a great place for those. The Golfus has Birmingham's best golf simulators and man caves in Vestavia on Highway 31, opening soon in Trussville and on Highway 280. Bring whatever you want to eat or drink, even bring your own clubs. Get out of the office. Go to the Golfus. Book your spot now at thegolfus.com. Looking to expand your business? Let the Next Round help you. Contact us, sales@nextroundlive.com, and be part of the team. Advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential customers on our ever-expanding platforms. The Next Round can take your business to the next level. Join our existing partners in the fastest-growing media space, both live and on demand, while reaching the most desirable audience for your business. Get more information by emailing sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to build a plan to take your business to the next level using the Next Round.
There's no off-season at covercrimson.com. Sign up now and get daily shows plus behind-the-scenes intel that will keep your Alabama fandom rolling all the way up until kickoff. Follow Cover Crimson on all social platforms and sign up today at covercrimson.com.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
As we all know, there's no off season when it comes to college football. If you want to stay in the know with all things Auburn, join us over on thebarnauburn.com and get $25 off your annual subscription. We'll keep you up to date and give you exclusive content all the way to the first Saturday of football season on thebarnauburn.com.
Back with you on the next round. Christopher Bell wins NASCAR in Atlanta. Ovechkin had a hat trick last night, or over the weekend. 13 goals away now from breaking Gretzky's all-time record. Some other stuff that's going on in the sports world.
I didn't watch any more hockey this week. I thought I was going to be a big hockey fan after that one game.
You thought you had jumped on the bandwagon?
Yeah, I'll come back for the Stanley Cup.
You will?
Yeah.
We will get to...
Not as important, Brown.
I know. It's not as important as the United States playing against Canada.
We'll get to football in a second. But, Brown, before you tell us about the golf Forrester, can you give me the great hustle play that the Oklahoma player? I can only imagine the pain of Duke Miles. He dives for a ball.
I saw this.
For Oklahoma in their win over Mississippi State. Look at the picture on the left is his teeth, 2 or 3 of his front teeth in fragments coming out here.
I'm surprised you don't see it. Like, I hear and you don't know how, if they're like the urban legend's grown. But, I run across people that, hey, I was playing, back in high school and this guy lost his teeth. It is surprising you don't see it more.
Yeah. Now,
whether it's an elbow or the floor.
Now, my front two teeth are, what are they called?
Veneers?
Well, they're the whole tooth. I lost both teeth with a hockey stick to the front teeth.
You played hockey?
Gym hockey at the time in high school.
Can you even ice skate?
You lost your teeth in gym hockey?
Yeah, I was competitive, LT. I was going down to try to...
Well, it seems like somebody else was more competitive. What happened?
I was sliding to try to keep a guy from shooting.
Yeah.
And as I slid, I didn't time my slide right. I was a little too quick on the slide. And he was going to hit a slap shot and hit me with the stick. Missed the ball, hit the stick.
Damn.
Stick to the face. And, of course, we were playing with no helmets. I mean, we're at Camp Branch Civic Center, running around, checking people in the walls
and windows. Did it knock the 2 teeth out cleanly?
Yeah, I mean, both of them. It broke them, much like that. But they had been root canaled from a younger age, so those teeth were dead. So it was not a lot of pain. I played it up, but it wasn't a lot of pain.
Corey Dunaway was writhing on the floor.
It wasn't a lot of pain.
Slapping
How long did you go with just kind of like sawed up, chipped up chiclets?
Oh, no, I got those replaced pretty quick. That was senior year of high school, so we'd gotten some dental coverage at that time. But I lost both teeth.
I fell down some steps and lost mine.
The reason that sticks out to me, because later that day, I'm pretty sure it's the same day. Later that day, Dwight Clark with the catch.
Oh, wow.
And I have no teeth watching.
Well, that was a Sunday.
It was a Sunday. Yeah. We played early Sunday, didn't go to church.
Yeah.
So it was 1982.
Camp Branch Civic Center. That would have been my senior year. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think I remember, I think I saw the video. He's laying on the floor because he kicks the ball back out and he starts picking his teeth up and put them in his hand.
Thinking you're going to replace those.
So was James Sr. more excited that the Cowboys had lost? Because that was San Francisco new on the scene.
Yeah.
Was he more excited that America's team went down or disappointed that you lost your teeth?
Teeth did not register on the radar that day. I went home and watched the game with jagged teeth.
I'm going to assume
there was no emergency needed.
Daddy did the 49ers the Cowboys.
Would you
exactly what it sounded like. Yeah.
In the mud puddle, there was no dental insurance?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to guess.
No,
Yeah.
for years. That's why my teeth are what they are. Because for years, I would tell you that.
I used to go to the dental clinic. Do you remember the dental clinic?
Oh, I've done it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was terrible because you'd have a 23-year-old student.
Yeah.
Couldn't speak English, but they're working on those teeth.
Yeah, fired. Failed. Sorry. Sorry, you failed the exam. Cowboys fans, I don't know why, but so many Cowboy fans because of Landry, who are also Alabama fans because of Bear Bryant. So loved the Cowboys back then.
Oh, wow.
They loved the Cowboys. That's why I'm a Buccaneer fan. Golfist brings you part of the show. Tell us about the Golfist.
Also, I got to tell you, I found this website that you were talking about, and I got to point something out to you, okay?
Am I close to Evan Williams?
Wait, hang on. I'll tell you in a second. It is always 70 degrees in the Golfist. There's never any wind blowing. There's never any rain falling. It's a great place to enjoy golf on Birmingham's best golf simulators. That's what you find at the Golfist. It is a great place for that office meeting. Don't do the same boring office meeting. Do some team building while you're at it. Get out of the office and get in the Golfist. Great place for the party. Games can be on TV. Bring your own food. Bring your own drink to the Golfist. You can book a bay online, thegolfist.com, for more information. They're right there on Highway 31 in Vestavia. Van Road, just off Highway 11 in Trussville. Coming soon to Highway 280. So they'll have 3 locations throughout Birmingham with the Golfist. Thegolfist.com. That is thegolfist.com. Our resident basketball expert, Little T, sent it to me. It is Evan, M-I-Y-A. Maya, I don't know. Maya.
Okay.
Friends of the Bride.
So Little T sent this?
Little T sent it to me.
Yeah, co-host of the basketball show. She knew exactly what I was talking about when I said Evan Williams.
So
is this y'all's reference for the basketball show?
You didn't like KenPom because they had Duke 1, Auburn 2. Evan Mayaya has got Duke 1, Houston 2. It's even worse for Auburn.
I mean, are we going to control the borders in basketball too? Come on,
Duke
man.
1, Houston 2. So you don't like this guy either.
Or woman, whoever this is.
Whoever Evan is.
I don't know any Evan females.
Yeah. Maya.
Come on.
Texas Tech 5.
Yeah.
By Evan Maya. Now, if you look at resume quality, that's another one of his things.
Evan Maya?
Evan Maya. He's got Auburn straight ones in resume quality. The resume rank, the win quality, the loss quality. And he's got Alabama too. 2 resume rank, 2 win quality, and 7 loss quality.
Okay.
He's got Florida 3. So he says resume-wise, Auburn, Alabama, Florida are your best 3.
How do we...
Jim, I don't know.
How does he not have them ranked higher than?
I don't know. You know what I like to do? I like to watch the NCAA tournament and see who's standing at the end there.
Watch the confetti.
And I'm willing to say, there's your best team.
Me too.
You see that one that's holding the
Every
trophy?
year.
You see that guy that's climbing up the ladder cutting the nets? That's your best team.
These do matter less when your teams are not fighting for the bubble, right?
Yeah.
There's the top resume qualities there. Seems like if you're one in the resume quality, the win quality, and the loss quality, seems like it should be 1 overall. But who am I to tell Evan Maya how to do his job, or KenPom, or the AP? Later today, though, Alabama 1-1 last week. Expect them to drop out of the 4 slot in the AP poll. I'd project them around 7 because St. John's got a big win over UConn yesterday. Tennessee got a big win on the road at Texas A&M over the weekend. So I would say it's going to be my projection on the AP poll. I'll go Auburn, Florida, Duke, Houston, Tennessee, St. John, Alabama.
There is no world where St. John's a better team than Alabama. I mean,
another impressive win.
I know it's
though.
a good win, but St. John's is not a better team than Alabama. I don't care where they. Again, I'm going to watch the tournament and see who wins the thing. I don't care what the AP poll does.
I agree with
what
you.
you're saying.
I agree with you. I just know AP voters are not from the SEC country.
I would say if Brad Brownell was the St. John's coach instead of Rick Pitino, St. John's would not be ranked where they are.
No, 100%.
This is
again. It's Cooper Flag playing for Duke.
That's right.
Also, they wouldn't be winning.
Well, they may not be. I'm just saying. But if you gave Brad Brownell the same exact resume that St. John's has, everybody would be like, "Oh, look, St. John's is back. Playing pretty good basketball." But because it's Rick Pitino, the world's going to go crazy about it.
A couple of good articles I want to draw your attention to after Brownie tells us about Johnston RV, your chance to work with the great family-owned business and get out and see America in 2025.
Yeah, I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur is where you find them, and always online at johnstonrvcenter.com. They got payments as low as $129 a month right now with approved credit. So very affordably, you can find a way to go see America, like Jim said, whether it's the toy hauler, the fifth wheel, the RV. I mean, it's got a price for everybody right there at Johnston RV. Also, RV warranty forever. Make sure you've got a lifetime warranty on everything that is new and qualifying pre-owned. See more, johnstonrvcenter.com. That's johnstonrvcenter.com.
Listen, I really love Alex Scarborough's work with Bama 24/7. He had a chance to sit down with Kalen DeBoer one-on-one last week. A couple of things that I took from his article. I won't give you all the insight there because go read it at Bama 24/7. But DeBoer was telling him how different it feels in the building right now. And I want your reaction to all this. But he says, basically, last year I'm learning names. They're learning how we're going to coach. I'm learning how people react to certain style of coach. All of last year seemed like, even as you got into the season, was a learning experience for the coaches and for the players. He says now the relationships are formed. They know what to expect from us coaches. We sort of know who they are more as players now, getting the whole full off season with the new arrivals and everything. It's sort of a normal routine. He says it just feels different in the building. And the relationships are different. He says even on the coaching staff, he tells Alex Scarborough, like Roach and Gillespie, who were holdover from the Saban staff, they know how we work. We know how they work. We're holding each other more accountable. They're holding us more accountable to some things. Even within the people who came with DeBoer as new hires, working better together. And then he said this, just watching them work out, there seems to be a chip on the players' shoulders. I want your reaction to all that on what Kalen DeBoer tells Alex Scarborough at Bama 24/7.
Well, to me, this isn't really a surprise when you go from the greatest to ever do it, and you've got to pivot and you've got to quickly put your fingerprints, on this program. If it would have been done the other way, if Kalen DeBoer leaves, Nick Saban takes over, Nick Saban probably comes in, doesn't walk on eggshells, does it his way immediately. But that's got to be really difficult to try to change the great culture that you had to kind of your culture, doing it your way, but completely doing it different. So I think there were probably some moments where it was so delicate at first, it just wasn't comfortable. It wasn't comfortable for the players. It wasn't comfortable for DeBoer, his staff. And now that they've been there a full year, I think it's an easier transition. I mean, like when I look back at this, I thought it would be a smoother transition than it was, but it really never should have been.
Yeah, because he was trying to blend a little bit of the way they did it with the way he wanted to do it. It was always going to be a blend, right?
Yeah, and I just think Saban did, it was so hard and fast his way, and you don't want to come in and immediately change that, right? But you want it to be your program. So I think it was a difficult thing to navigate early on, and now that you're a full calendar year away from it, it makes it much easier. And back to the players with a chip on their shoulder, hell yeah. I mean, the last time they lost 4 games was 17 years ago, 18 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the thing I take away the most. DeBoer, if I got the quote right from Alex Scarborough, there better be a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah. And that is, I'm with Lance on that one. That's the one, if there's not a chip on their shoulder, there's a problem. And to hear DeBoer say that tells you that, A, there is a chip on their shoulder, and that's the expectation, is that 4 wins is not acceptable in the Alabama football program.
Look, and you hear...
4 wins certainly is not. 4 losses, I'm sorry, Lance, is not acceptable in the Alabama football program.
Ryan Grubb has got a presence, and I think he'll make that presence known. And we've heard, there's different ways to coach, but Ryan Grubb is very comfortable with Kalen DeBoer. Kalen DeBoer is very comfortable with Ryan Grubb, and I think he can be that vocal guy.
So, and here's the thing, Jim, is and this is not, I want everybody to hear what I'm saying. This is not a criticism of Greg Byrne or Kalen DeBoer or Nick Saban. This is just truth. Kalen DeBoer can fly to Seattle until Greg Byrne can fly to Seattle and tell Kalen DeBoer, Coach Saban understands this. This is going to be your program. Coach Saban knows the game here. This is going to be he's going to back out. He's going to game day. He's going to be doing a lot of stuff for the NFL draft, so he's not going to be around a lot, this first little bit. This is going to be your program. But until that really starts, you don't know what that is, right? And I'm not saying Greg Byrne lied to Kalen DeBoer. I don't think he did. I think Greg Byrne wants it to be Kalen DeBoer's program. I think Nick Saban wants it to be Kalen DeBoer's program. But to use a phrase that old school Alabama fans will get, until you take the tower away and see what the reaction is, you don't know how much it's your program, right?
Yeah.
And that's what Lance is saying. I mean, like, there's two ways to do things. And Nick Saban might have done it one way, and Kalen DeBoer goes in and says, that obviously worked, but we're going to do it this way. And everybody's like, okay.
Yeah.
It's your funeral, man, if you want to do it. I mean, until you start working, there's no way you can know that it's really your program, no matter how much Greg Byrne and Nick Saban tells you that. It's got to be the 1,000 people that are around Alabama football. I'm not even talking about the fans. I'm just talking about the support staff and the players and all those people, the boosters that are around that buy into that as well. It can't just be Nick Saban and Greg Byrne buying into it. It's got to be everybody buying into it. That it was done one way for 17 years, and it's the most successful 17 years we've ever seen in college football. But this guy's got to have the leeway to do it his way. We didn't hire him to be Nick Saban again. We want him to have that success, but there's not another Nick Saban out there, or we would have hired that guy.
Yep. I agree. Good read at Alabama 24/7. Alex Scarborough. Go check it out. Time now for the viewing menu. It's brought to you every day by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision. We'll hear from Richard Hendrix, back to college basketball at the top of the hour. Michelson Laser Vision on top of their game for over 2 decades.
Yeah, I made that phone call over 2 decades ago. 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy Toe. The next round sent you. They are going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. You have 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. I had the 2200 vision. I was legally blind without the aid of contacts. After the procedure, which only took 12 minutes for both eyes, 2015 vision, better than 2020. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. Call that number today. Stop procrastinating. 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
All right, tonight on Max, it just came over to Max. It's an old movie, though. It is End of Watch. Jake Gyllenhaal and Michael Pena. It's shot documentary style and centers around 2 cops in L.A. And you just see what happens during their day, and they get targeted by the cartel.
Shaky camera.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did you throw up?
No, I didn't go see it at the theater because of that, but it is a shaky camera.
Yeah, you don't want to get targeted by the cartel.
Is that why, when you say documentary style, is that you get the shaky camera sort of lets you feel like it's a documentary?
Jake Gyllenhaal's character is making sort of not really a vlog, but just like a video essay on the life of a cop in LA's most dangerous district. So that's the footage they pull. But very good movie. And then also tonight at 7 at AMC, you've got The Screen Unseen. Tonight it's an hour 35 minutes, a PG-13 movie, and it's most likely going to be Last Breath starring Woody Harrelson. And it's based on a true story of a deep-sea diver who gets disconnected from his cord while they're working on repairs. And then they have to rescue him from the bottom of the ocean.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, I think we all look around and, man, that sucks that Johnny's cord got cut.
Yeah. Fire up!
Yeah.
We'll never find him.
Yeah, so what I saw the preview where he says...
It was just rolled a second ago, based on an extraordinary true
I'm
story.
not going to lose a diver today, his quote in the trailer.
Not on my watch.
So the cord is the cord that they're using to come back up, not his air. He's got a certain amount of air, obviously.
Yes, he's got a certain amount of air in his suit, but I believe they call it the umbilical cord for your suit.
Yeah.
It hooks you to the ship so you can get back.
Yeah, imagine you're
Drift
just
off.
minding your own business at the bottom of the ocean and you see the other end of that cord just fall right down next to you. You're like, well, I'm in trouble now.
Because to walk on the ocean floor, you've got to be weighted down, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
I learned that
also,
from Cuba Gooding Jr. in that one movie.
I never saw that. Men of Honor?
Men of Honor. It's got some cheeseball moments, but I think overall it's a good flick.
Oh, I got fired up during that.
Did you?
Man. Yeah.
Bob De Niro in the courtroom. I want my steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, I'd blow that tower up. Scene 1.
That old man.
That old man up in that tower.
and then also tonight on AMC, the movie channel, at 7 p.m., you've got My Cousin Vinny.
One of my favorites.
Good.
Lance and I were talking about it the other night.
Yeah,
always good.
Again, it's really hard to do really good comedies.
That is.
I found myself circling back to The Wolf of Wall Street late Friday night. I ended up seeing the Becoming Led Zeppelin this weekend. Me and Jack went to see it.
Oh, yeah?
I was going to watch Wolf on a late night Friday night, and I couldn't figure out what streaming service.
Paramount.
Paramount. God, I've got Paramount.
Yeah.
I didn't go look at that.
All you got to do is Google it.
The becoming Led Zeppelin was interesting because it was how the band was built, but it kind of just immediately, I guess once they became Zeppelin and they recorded Led Zeppelin 2, it kind of ends. And I'm just wondering because it was the first time they had, like John Bonham died in 1980, they had never before heard audio from him. And then obviously they sat down with John Paul Jones and Jimmy Page and Robert Plant. I'm wondering if there's going to be a second part to the documentary that's like breaking Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, I mean,
because once you got them together, why would you just not do the whole encompassing thing? And I know it's making pretty good money right now.
Yeah, well, because it sounds like they plan this thing out.
That's the way it looked. Yeah. But if you like Led Zeppelin, I mean, a lot of it was music, like live sets.
Sounds like there'll be 2 more parts in part.
Maybe.
Yeah,
the live performances were really good.
Yeah.
I hope they make another one.
Oh, so did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it maybe a week and a half ago. And I want there to be another one because Jimmy Page gets real weird towards the end of Led Zeppelin.
Well, yeah, he started studying witchcraft, black magic and stuff. I thought what was crazy is like the early reviews from Rolling Stone destroyed Led Zeppelin.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Like Robert Plant's vocals, too out there. Jimmy Page, the guitar playing wasn't on point. John Bonham just banging a drum. But yeah, I think they got that wrong.
Speaking of
Michelson brings you the viewing menu there. Tell us about Michelson one more time.
205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
Houston and Texas Tech. Great basketball game tonight. ESPN. We talk more basketball with Richard Hendrix on the other side. This is The Next Round.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239 Equal Housing Lender. Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Happy football season. At The Next Round, we strive to make our loyal listeners feel like they're a part of the action all season long. My name is Emily Grace McWhorter, and I do that by bringing you along for any given Saturday in Auburn or Tuscaloosa. From pregame warm-ups, touchdowns that make you feel a part of the play, and everything in between, our goal is to make you feel like you're inside Bryant-Denny or Jordan-Hare. Follow along on our social media at Next Round Live on Instagram, X, and Facebook. Also, check out thebarnauburn.com and covercrimson.com while you're at it. Here's to fall Saturdays.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Take TNR on the go with a podcast built for your satisfaction. Miss Hour 1? Find it in podcast form. Miss Hour 2? Stream it now. Miss Hour 3? Download it for later. Miss Hour 4? Well, just know it's never coming back. Listen to TNR wherever you find podcasts.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com. The latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com. That's nextroundlive.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, another impressive weekend by the SEC that included big win by Tennessee on the road at Texas A&M and a huge win for Oklahoma when it came to their NCAA tournament life as they beat Mississippi State. 4 games left in the regular season. They're all big ones for Auburn and Alabama. They're all tough. Let's talk hoop with Richard Hendrix.
And you see him on the SEC Network and ESPN at rhendrix35. He is with us now on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. What is up, Richard? How are you today?
Hey, guys. Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we always appreciate the time. I'll start with Alabama beating Kentucky. We were discussing this earlier. It's a testament to where Nate Oats has this program that sweeping Kentucky in the regular season is kind of what you're expected to do now, and that's wild to consider when you consider the history of Kentucky basketball.
Yeah, and I definitely think it's impressive because you do have to always consider Big Blue Nation and what Kentucky has always done when you play them. But I think for this particular year, Alabama has the better team. They have the deeper roster. They have talented players. They have the experience of players who are coming back who are on the Final Four. And Mark Pope's done a really good job with this team, but they've been shorthanded as of late. They did a good job in the game against Alabama, but when you play a similar style as the Tide, liking to get up and down and score, you're going to play right into the hands of what Nate Oats wants to do, and that's how Alabama was able to get it done.
You're one of the all-time Alabama greats, so you know how difficult it is to score 30-plus points in 40 minutes of basketball. I don't know if you know right offhand how many times you did that in an Alabama uniform, but Sears did it in back-to-back games twice in a week with 35 in a loss to Missouri and 30 against Kentucky. Nate Oats after the game said that Mark Sears is playing his best basketball. You saw kind of the early to mid-season slump. We saw him get benched. But now this is the Mark Sears we expected.
Of course. And of course, I know how many games.
How many is it? Is it 3?
You might. Well, I thought it was 2. It might be 3 now that you mentioned it. But I know it was 2. If I could hit better free throws back in the day, I would have had several more 30-point games. That was my issue. But I tell you, Mark Sears is doing a great job right now. But the thing that's impressed me in the last game is the 2 turnovers. I mean, his ability to score, we all know that he can do it. He understands how to get to the basket and how to get to the free throw line, knocking down 11 free throws in the last game against Kentucky. But the ball security is something that's hindered him this past season. He's tried to create a little bit more with his playmaking ability, but oftentimes you'll see him over-dribbling, getting bottled up, trying to get to the basket. But the 2 turnovers that he had against Kentucky, now albeit Kentucky's not a really disruptive defensive team, but to minimize those at this point of the season is going to be critical for him as teams start to key in on him as he's starting to hit his stride from the outside.
More on Alabama and Auburn in a second with Richard Hendrix. I just want your take, because you do all these games for the league on ESPN and the SEC Network. But for Vandy to get Ole Miss, for Oklahoma to get Mississippi State, and for Arkansas to get Missouri this past weekend, how big was that for the SEC quote-unquote bubble teams?
Well, that was huge for all 3 of those teams. I mean, those are teams who've been fighting for the NCAA tournament life. They've had some quality wins this year, particularly Vanderbilt, and has been playing good basketball. But coming down the stretch, it's so important to get some momentum because Yeah, I think the committee takes heavily what you do in the non-conference, and the SEC obviously handled their business. But big wins down the stretch against name brand teams are going to be important for the viewers and how they view the team. And obviously, you're playing in the SEC tournament with some more opportunities to play in some games against some quality opponents. But this week was the first step for the teams who are towards the bottom of the league to keep their head above water when it comes to that cut line of the NCAA tournament, and they had some really good showings.
Yeah, one of the teams that did not, that's on that bubble, is Georgia. They had a great opportunity to maybe punch their ticket with a win at Auburn. Those are the type of games that go a long way on Selection Sunday. They were not able to do that. With respect, and this sounds like I'm taking a shot at Auburn. Now, it's actually a compliment. That's kind of sounds like a shot. With respect, Richard, to the way they played the rest of the season, these last two wins against Arkansas and Georgia have just been kind of okay. I mean, Auburn has set a standard, and those probably did not rise to the standard.
Yeah, you're right. And I think the way that they're playing with the pieces that they have, I think you expect Auburn to jump out on teams, get a 15, 20-point lead, and then kind of coast to the wins. But, when you're the number one team in the country, you're going to take everyone's best punch. The teams that are at the bottom of the league, Arkansas, Georgia, they know that with the win over Auburn, particularly on the road, that's going to be something that's going to solidify them to be in the NCAA tournament. So you're going to take the team's best punch. Now, Auburn at the same time, I look at it's not about their opponent. They're a really good team. They have obviously the best inside player and maybe the potential college basketball player of the year with Johni Broome, but the shooters from the outside. But their ability to make sure that they're going to have to be healthy, Chad Baker-Mazara, to be an important factor of the team if he can stay in these games. You can remember back in the NCAA tournament, him getting caught up in some situations where he can be a little bit emotional, has caught them, and really has hindered them to finish out games. He's going to have to make sure that he keeps that stuff shored up, plays really good basketball, because when they're on their game, I mean, you see how tough they are to beat. But they're going to have to stay motivated because teams are going to have to continue to try to give them their best. And if they can do so, they're still just an elite team defensively, offensively. They have the total package.
So Mike White's got a hell of a player in the 6'11" Newell, the freshman kid. I mean, should we just expect that he's one and done?
Yeah, I think so. And, I've been able to see Asa Newell, up close and personal. He has so much versatility. He's long. He's stronger than people think. He obviously was able to give a good performance against Johni Broome, who is so much more mature with his age differential. But he's a top-level player. He can score in the mid-range. He can shoot the three ball. He can rebound and defend. He changes ends very well. I think the thing for fans need to understand is oftentimes there's no translation or correlation to a good college basketball player and an NBA prospect. And oftentimes you'll see a lot of freshmen who are not polished will be your top NBA draft picks. Asa Newell's a little bit different. He's had the production. He showed leadership skills this season for Georgia. And you see on display him going toe-to-go against Johni Broome that even though Johni Broome will be probably the National Player of the Year and the SEC Player of the Year, Asa Newell's name will get called first in that NBA draft that's coming up soon. And it'll be difficult, even if you see the older guys who've been in college for multiple years, to even get their name called, depending on how the draft goes and which teams are in certain situations. So it's a difficult thing to how you got to watch college basketball when you're comparing it to who's going to be a pro prospect and how their future is going to be at the next level in the NBA. But Asa Newell is one of the guys, for me, who checks off the boxes of being a quality college player and has potential to be a really good pro.
Okay, follow me here. I get older, my dots don't always connect, so follow me, Richard. Alabama's final four games. 5-seed Mississippi State, like a Sweet 16 game. 2-seed Tennessee, like an Elite 8 game. 1-seed Florida, like a national semifinal game. 1-seed Auburn on the road, like a national championship game. I mean, this is like the last 2 weekends of the NCAA tournament toughness-wise for Alabama down the stretch here.
It is. It's tough. And I'm going to be honest with you. As far as personnel is concerned and what you saw from Alabama this past game, a key factor will be the fourth-man position. If Grant Nelson, Jaron Stevenson can step up and be big-time contributors, potentially, specifically when it comes to their point production, that's going to be a position. If they can win that matchup, it's going to be huge for them. And with that being said, all of those games are winnable games for Alabama. I mean, make no question about it. it's not as if they can't win them in this gauntlet. They take it game by game. It's going to be a different challenge and a different style in each one of those games. But Alabama has the personnel, they have the talent, and they've been able to show the class to get it done. And they can really surprise people at how they can handle these games down the stretch.
So Aiden Holloway has been incredible off the bench, obviously, for Alabama. You know, we assume he is going to be in that starting lineup next year. I mean, what does it look like when a guy like Holloway, playing like he is right now offensively, starts getting 35 minutes a game?
Well, I don't know how much the extra time will translate to extra points and more production. I definitely think that when you have a deep team like Alabama does, being in the starting five doesn't matter. You have to be able to come in the game and work your minutes when your number is called. And Aiden Holloway comes in and he plays with the mentality that he's the number one. And with the possessions that Alabama will play, the style that they can go up tempo, the guard play, and having a lot of opportunities to get shots from the outside to get going, he's been able to adapt and take on that role really well. I think moving forward, you get in a glimpse with Mark Sears, who will be going in his final year this past year and doesn't have any more eligibility, that you'll definitely see what Alabama can have with Aiden Holloway next season in that leadership role, that he is definitely more than capable, able to handle the load. And maybe he'll be able to add even more to the game to be even more productive, not just only as an outside shooter, but a playmaker for others and then finishing around the basket.
Richard Hendrix for a few more moments, SEC Network and ESPN. He's on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. There's the old saying, if you watch someone long enough, they'll tell you who they really are. It's some variation of that saying. I probably got it wrong. I don't know if the selection committee does that, but did Texas tell us Saturday who they really are? To go on the road and lose at South Carolina when you're playing life on the bubble, that one might be a dagger.
Come on, man.
What?
South Carolina's fighting for their lives. They're doing great, man. They needed to win.
I think it is a dagger just because South Carolina was winless. Now, I don't think them being winless in the SEC is a reflection of how good that team is. They've been able to take a lot of teams down to the wire. They just have not had what it takes to get a win. But finally, to get it done was huge for South Carolina. You have to give Lamont Paris and that team some credit for what they're able to do. But if you're Texas, that's just a game you cannot lose. I mean, even if it's on the road and it's a tough environment, you have to stack some wins down the stretch. And that's just one where people are going to look at the record and say this was a winless team, and they were the one to get off the schneid by knocking you off. I don't know how much that really helps your NCAA tournament resume.
Okay, take your right hand. I'm going to tie it behind your back, make you go one-handed here, filling out your NCAA bracket. I take Duke and all the SEC teams. You give me the team that's left. No Duke, no SEC team. Give me the one team that you would fill out your bracket right now that could win the national championship. No Duke, no SEC team.
No Duke, no SEC. Well, you know, that's hard to do. You look at your top 15. That's the only teams that people seem to talk about all the time.
Well, hell, listen, Richard, I could sit here and talk about the top 15 teams.
Well,
That's why you're here.
Great Big 12 matchup tonight with Houston and Lubbock against Texas Tech. So we'll see a lot right there.
I mean, you're the one with the big basketball mind. I'm just I'm the poll reader. I'm the sportscaster.
I was still stuck on having my right hand tied behind my back, and I was immediately thinking about how can I use my left hand as a player that's right-handed and players can't go both ways anymore. I was thinking initially, I was like, I'm pretty good with my left hand. I think I can finish around the basket. That's where my mind was first.
Yeah.
But I will have to lean on Houston. Houston's playing really good basketball. That's a team that in the NCAA tournament, they defend so well. And what they're able to do to just choke you out. I mean, that's a team you don't want to play. You got these neutral site games. It's hard to shoot shots with the depth perception of huge arenas, unfamiliar territory, and defense is something that travels. LJ Cryer's been shooting lights out. Emmanuel Sharp is a really good player that's been shooting the ball in clutch moments. Kelvin Sampson has his team hungry. They've lost some games in the SEC this season against SEC opponents and starting to play really good basketball. That's another one. I would have to lean with them as my first pick. And I'm going to jump on the bandwagon. I know this is going to seem, crazy, but Rick Pitino and St. John's.
Don't do it.
I mean, listen, it's incredible. You have to give this man his credit. He's taken Providence to a Final Four. He won a national championship at Kentucky. He's won a national championship at Louisville. He had Iona in the NCAA tournament, playing Alabama in that first-round game. And here they are in St. John's in year 2, knocking off UConn, the defending back-to-back champions, twice in the same season. It's so impressive what he's able to do. We've all seen the viral motivational speech that he's able to give at halftime to get his teams fired up. The way they defend, how hard they play. This is another team that's in that same mold as Houston. I don't know how difficult of a schedule they have had in their conference to be tested, but this is a team that's 2.5 games in the lead in the Big East. And probably with a few games ago, you're just one more away from going ahead and clinching it. That is so impressive. You don't want to see the Red Storm in your bracket come March.
Yeah, they struggle to score. That's as everybody's pointing out in the MyBookie.ag chat room. Their offense is like 75th in KenPom, and I mean that's just who they are at this point, Richard. But Rick Pitino always knows how to defend.
Well, and you're playing against the aura of Rick Pitino. I mean, those things matter in tournament play. And when you have one coach that who has been there, and you have to know as an opposing coach that you're game planning to play against a guy who's been there, has a wealth of experience, is a master motivator, that just puts you in a situation where you know that he feels like he's playing with house money. And you have to be on, and a team that can't shoot the basketball as well, it's just one night that they can get it going. You pair that with the defensive end, grinding games out, the high level of conditioning that his teams always have. I mean, it's just a tough matchup, and I don't know if you want to have that when tournament time comes.
At Hendrix35 is where you follow him on social media. You see him on the SEC Network and ESPN. Richard Hendrix, thank you very much for the time. Always good talking with you, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Enjoyed it.
All right, man.
Richard.
We'll see you soon. Richard with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.
The show being brought to you today by our friends at A+. Before we get to our 4 downs, tell us about A+.
It is A+bathandkitchen.com. That is the website. A+bathandkitchen.com. That is who redid the master bath in the Brown house. Now, Brad Bell is the guy there, and he specializes in master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom redesigns. Now, that's not all he does, but the reason I point that out is you spend a lot of time in those rooms when you own the house, and you can make your money back to a certain extent when you go to sell your house on those rooms. They really pop. Master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom closets. When it came time to redo the master bath in the Brown house, my wife Jennifer scoured the internet looking for the right person for the job. Brad Bell was the guy she picked. I'm glad she did. He did tremendous work for us, and he can for you as well. Here's his cell number, 205-422-1758. That is 205-422-1758. Also online, you can see more before and afters, not just mine. A+bathandkitchen.com. A+bathandkitchen.com.
And our friends at New Life Art, that's where you find Daniel A. Moore's great work, including The Legend. You can get the Nick Saban painting, 6 national championships, a tribute to Coach Saban there. That's available. And, of course, congratulations to all the Roll Tide Eagles up there in Philadelphia. You can celebrate with Daniel A. Moore, a limited edition prints of Jalen Hurts, Landon Dickerson, Devontae Smith, with the Roll Eagles Roll editions there at DanielMooreArt.com. DanielMooreArt.com. Go and check out all the great works from Daniel A. Moore at DanielMooreArt.com. Before we get to 4 downs, one of my favorite Reddit posters, sarcasm, Donut Cronut on Reddit, though, college football Reddit, asked this question. Donut Cronut.
Okay.
On Reddit, college football Reddit, what player was forced to change position in college and went on to have a really successful NFL career after the position change? And here's a couple that got pointed out in the Reddit thread there. Obviously, Matt Jones was a quarterback at Arkansas. They didn't change him at Arkansas, but he went to the NFL and changed to wide receiver.
He was drafted, in the first round, Jacksonville as a wide receiver, but he didn't have a good Jacksonville career.
He played for Jacksonville. I wouldn't call it a good NFL career.
J.J. Watt was a tight end.
Okay, now he had a great career.
And they moved him to defensive while he was still in college, but they moved him to defensive end. Pretty darn good. Butch Jones.
The coach?
Yeah, actually told Travis Kelce he couldn't play quarterback. Travis left the team because he wanted to play quarterback, came back, and Butch moved him to tight end. So one of the greatest tight ends in NFL history.
That was at Cincinnati.
Vic Beasley was a tight end when he showed up at Clemson. Ended up playing edge rush. Clemson's all-time sack leader, I think. But maybe the most amazing, I mean, J.J. Watt and Travis Kelce, pretty amazing.
That's 2 Hall of Famers.
Jason Kelce showed up at Cincinnati as a linebacker. No way that guy would have been even an NFL linebacker.
He's got a center body. I mean, you look at him,
and they moved him to center, and he's going to be a Hall of Famer at center.
You know, it comes back to the Rams all the time, but I told the story about Jared Verse in 2020, and the pandemic had nothing to do but work out. He was a wide receiver at Albany.
Okay, wait. So I remember you saying this now. Yeah. So Verse was a wide receiver at Albany.
Decided to work out, had a big frame, started putting weight on, wanted to become an edge rusher, talked his way into that, and went to Florida State. The rest is history.
Yeah.
But if he says if it wasn't for the pandemic, he wouldn't have worked out like that and probably never makes a position change. Yeah. And look, if he stays healthy, I mean, I don't see any reason he's not on that kind of path.
I don't remember this at Tennessee, but Volfan 205 is obviously a Volfan here in the 205. It says Jason Witten was a defensive end, was going to transfer because they wanted to switch him to tight end, and he stayed.
Yeah, and I want to be defensive end. And they're like, try tight end, man.
Why don't you try tight end, Jason? And Jason Witten was a spectacular tight end in the NFL for the Dallas Cowboys, so there's another one for you.
You know, I remember watching Anquan Bolden play quarterback for Florida State in the Sugar Bowl, and then you saw how good of a receiver Bolden was for both Arizona and Baltimore in the NFL.
Didn't Trayvon Diggs show up in
he wanted to be a receiver because his brother Stephon obviously was a great receiver at Maryland. And I don't know the timeline. Was Stephon already in the league when Trayvon came to Alabama?
Yeah, I think so.
Was he?
Yeah.
I just remember I had a client in Maryland, and he would tell me all the time, a guy named Jim, man, this Trayvon Diggs is, with the football in hand, is one of the best playmakers I've ever seen. Yeah. So you just assume, like Stephon, that he was going to come in and be on the offensive side of the ball. But I think Diggs does credit Nick Saban a lot to making a lot of money.
But I don't think it was Coach, I'll go straight to
No, he was DB, like, trust me. Yeah. Go to DB. Trust me.
I mean, that's the one where I always tell the story. Daniel Jeremiah, a friend of the show, NFL Network, former NFL scout, now does all the draft stuff for the NFL Network, says if you've got a kid and he's picking between wide receiver and DB, always make him a DB. He's like, every year I can't watch all the wide receiver film we have. I'm having to beg for defensive back film.
Yeah.
He's like, it's just and at an elite level, those guys pay close to the same. Now, I think receivers probably pulled ahead of late, hasn't it, over DB money?
Yeah. But top end wide receiver.
Top end wide receiver. But I mean, top end DBs, you go look at what Pat Surtain will make in the NFL. The guy's maybe the best cover corner in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
He's going to make good money.
So position changes. Just saw that. Thank you, Donut Cronut, wherever you are in the world today, for jumping on Reddit. Our friends at Slice, no place like it, man. Best pizza, underrated wings. You maybe don't go into a place like Slice and say, hey, give me your oven-baked, firewood-baked wings. Oh, so good right there at Slice.
Yeah, fantastic place to pick up a slice and a salad today. Pick up a couple of pizzas on your way home. 5 locations, Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park. Newest location in Edgewood. To view that entire menu, slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
Today is National Trading Card Day. Did you guys have a favorite trading card growing up? One that really popped out?
Oh, the old Billy Ripken was the one everybody was after with the bottom of the bat.
The FU?
Yeah, the F face when I was a kid.
I love when people use that in the right context.
Yeah, everybody wanted that one. Because you thought it was going to be worth a ton of money because I think, was it Topps?
Yeah.
Was it a Topps card?
Yeah, it was a Topps card.
They didn't even know it was on there, right?
And they were trying to get them back off the street, so everybody thought, well, if you have one, it's going to be super rare one. I didn't even know what it'd be worth.
Yeah, mine was a Topps, and I got it. I traded it from a buddy, and then I ended up giving it to my brother, and his buddy stole it, which I still can't believe. But it was 1980. It was the perforated 3, the Topps, the Larry Bird, Magic Johnson rookie card, and then it had Dr. J on it. It was a really cool card.
Yeah, I think we looked up the value of that one time, and it was worth a
lot of money.
Yeah. Again, I never knew the value of them, but I had them all. What was the other one? Topps, was it Fleer?
Fleer, Donruss.
Yep.
And then Upper Deck started making their splash in the early 90s.
Yeah, and then there were football cards for a while that never caught on like the baseball card, but I remember I had a Kenny Stabler one that was him on the sidelines. For some reason, with his helmet off and showing the hair and the beard. I wonder if they had a say-so in which picture they wanted to use. And you knew Kenny had the helmet off for the ladies.
Those were the images for a lot of those guys that I had. That's how I visualized, because you didn't get to see these guys play all the time. It was that, and remember the poster they were so plain, it just had their name at the top of the poster, and then one action shot.
Yeah.
And you go to SI, like Sports Illustrated had them all listed. If you wanted Ken Singleton from the Orioles, hitting a home run, his action shot coming off the plate or whatever. But they had them for all sports. So, and I don't know if you guys had those posters, but I had a few.
I did, yeah. So I'll never forget, my parents had a membership to Sam's Club, and I convinced them to buy me, this was 1987, Tops. You could buy the entire set right there.
That's right, the whole set.
The whole set, and they were individually wrapped, the gum and everything. And in that set is the rookie Barry Bonds. At the time, didn't know what that was worth. Still got it today. Do you know what that's worth?
You still have it.
Yeah, I've still got it. Rookie Barry Bonds, 1987 Tops.
Well, because he is not as admired as maybe he should be, or respected as much as he should be. It's probably not going to be nearly as worth, I don't know. I mean, what would be worth more, Ken Griffey Jr. or Barry Bonds?
I don't know, but
$274.
You would think Bonds would be worth a lot. It's worth $200. That's the Barry Bonds rookie.
That's good, though.
Well, I guess.
Which means you go to sell it for $200, and the guy's like, "I'll give you $100."
Yeah, I got to make money on this too, buddy.
Never understood that.
So,
I'm seeing some 89 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr. cards for anywhere between like $300 and $250,000.
Oh, damn. I think I've got some of those. I need to go find my old baseball cards, but I remember having multiple Ken Griffey Jr. rookie Upper Decks.
I mean, for $2,500, I'll come help you look.
Yeah, really.
That was $250,000.
So you said $250,000.
I'll come help you look.
New side hustle. I don't know if you guys remember when they first, it was the Beckett guide, I think, the value guide.
Yep, I remember those.
But when those first came out, when I was really, into, buying cards and trading cards and all that stuff, I would go to my grandparents' house, like dig through their attic and stuff, just hoping there were some Honus Wagners in there.
Yeah, like you're going to find
They got to be somewhere, right?
Yeah.
But, your old man would tell you, hey, I used to have baseball cards. I don't know what I did with them.
Yeah.
Well, let's try to find them.
Yeah. You found more dead wasps than you did the Honus Wagner.
Yeah, I didn't find any.
All right, that is our 4 downs. Do we
that was first down.
That was first
Second down.
Yeah, that was on me.
Better chance of ever winning another championship, LeBron James or Greg Popovich?
Well, Pop may be done forever.
Yeah.
If you missed the story over the weekend, he's not coming back after the stroke. And Shams on ESPN says the future is unclear right now.
Yeah, I figure he probably won't come back after that.
It's a terrible way for such a great career to end. You would rather him be able to walk out and get the applause he deserves as the coach he has been, which has been one of the best in NBA history.
Had a stroke in November and is not going to return. He's age 76. And don't know if LeBron will win another one. But
I'll tell you, man, the Lakers look so good Saturday night. And you just wonder, the healthier that Luka gets and you get this rejuvenated LeBron James, I think they can probably beat everybody in the West. I think Oklahoma City is far and away by far the best team right now. But the way the Lakers have played the last couple of games.
How many minutes are given to Make-A-Wish? How much is Bronny getting right now?
He's getting none.
He's getting none right now? So that's
even
probably,
on the team, is he at G League?
He goes back and forth.
Yeah, I think currently he is G League.
He's G League right now, which that would obviously not continue into the postseason. I mean, that's fun, and you do it as a favor to LeBron. But when you get in the postseason, Bronny's off the roster.
He's averaging all of 1.4 points right now.
Yeah. I think I'll go LeBron. I don't know that Popovich ever coaches
that's right.
again. That's
at least LeBron's going to play this year. He's got a chance this year.
Third down.
Floyd Mayweather, 48 years old today. Floyd Mayweather Jr., 48. Better career, him or Greg Popovich?
Popping back-to-back questions.
Yep.
Pop has won 5?
That
NBA
sounds right.
championships?
5 over 10 years.
Yeah, so I'm going to guess offhand only Phil Jackson and Red Auerbach have more.
I would think that's it. I heard this morning, this is pretty crazy. The last time the Celtics won back-to-back championships?
What?
This is crazy.
So it must be under Red Auerbach.
It was 1969.
Because the Lakers kept them from doing it in the 80s.
But isn't that crazy? They never did it because, they're still one of your favorites to win it this year after winning it last year. But they haven't done it since 69.
Yeah. I think I would go Mayweather was just such an unexciting boxer is the problem because he was,
he's not the one that avoided the big matchup with
Pacquiao.
Yeah.
He didn't fight Pacquiao in his prime.
Yeah, no, they eventually
still went
fought.
50-0.
It wasn't all. People are always going to blame Mayweather, but there were some concessions that Pacquiao didn't want to give up either. And I do think for a minute Pacquiao, it would have been just an incredible fight.
But Mayweather is the best defensive fighter we've ever seen. You couldn't get a punch in on the
Yeah,
guy. But that's
think
not really why you pay to watch boxing.
If they wanted Pacquiao to come down and wait a little bit, and
there was some kind of drug testing. I forgot exactly what the details were because, believe it or not, that was over right at 15 years ago.
Yeah.
If this is 50 years ago, this question is probably just because boxing was so big, but because boxing nobody really cares now. I think more people probably would say Pop. I'm going to say Floyd Mayweather Jr. though.
Yeah, I'll say Pop.
I think I'll go Pop.
Mayweather.
Okay.
Is Popovich the most winningest coach?
But Mayweather's 50-0. I know what
Yeah.
you're saying. Okay. When he finally fought Pacquiao, it was a boring
Fourth down.
Boring fight.
Steve Jobs.
We did watch it at LT. Wimp
was there, yeah.
I stood next to Wimp the whole night. He stood the whole fight.
This is pretty crazy. Steve Jobs would have only been 70 today.
Wow.
Ultimately, better career, Steve Jobs or Phil Knight. Phil Knight's 87 today, by the way. So two iconic guys, birthdays same day.
I gotta say, more people have owned Apple products with the iPhone now than Nike products.
I'd go the other way around.
You would think people own more Nike products than Apple products?
Yeah, because people will buy multiple Nike products. You're only going to have one phone, but I have several pairs of Nike shoes.
Yeah, the volume of products would be
Who's
more
going to
Nike.
only have one phone, though? Oh, you're talking about one at a time.
Yeah.
You get your
I'm
burner
not saying
phone.
buy one and that's it.
Yeah, I was trying to explain to somebody about shoes. I forgot what the conversation was over the weekend, but I remember there was a time where I would buy a pair of shoes to go back to school, and that was the pair of shoes that I had until those shoes ran out.
Yeah.
But now, I'm not one to talk because I've got a ridiculous amount of shoes. But I would say that most people have multiple pairs of shoes at any given time.
I get the Phil Knight. Here's how I would separate the two. Steve Jobs invented, basically, he did not invent the computer.
Be careful here, though, because that Nike shoe was iconic.
It was. He perfected the computer, and I guess some would say Phil Knight perfected the shoe. I don't know.
So, and again, I'm not one to get technical, but don't you think we would have everything without Steve Jobs, but not necessarily without Phil Knight?
No, I'd go the other way around.
I think the shoe industry would look so different without Phil Knight.
I think
Absolutely.
The cell phone industry would look totally different without Steve Jobs.
Somebody would.
No. BlackBerry was like that. That's the whole reason BlackBerry died. Was they were like, nobody is going to want a phone without a keyboard. Who wants to touch their screen all the time? And Steve Jobs was like, no, I think that's what people want to do. Go find a BlackBerry right now. See, Tyler's a green text guy. That's why Tyler, he does not like the iPhone.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I don't either.
You're a green bubble.
Tyler's a green text guy. He messes up every.
I don't like how Apple operates.
On the Mount Rushmore of American brands,
Apple's got to be there.
Apple, Nike, Coca-Cola, and I don't know who the fourth one is.
Budweiser.
Yeah, Budweiser would be tough to beat. They've dominated the beer.
Yeah. I think those are your probably.
Those are your four iconic. You're asking us to choose between two of the four Mount Rushmores in brands right there.
That's tough.
Nike's got a 7-year-old slaving away right now, and the iPhone is, you've only got a matter of minutes before it goes out on you.
Yeah.
So I don't know which fault is worse.
It's being made in the same place, or at least the
9-year-old
battery
work on the iPhones.
Yeah. The batteries are being mined over there by 7-year-olds.
I get more excited when I buy a pair of shoes than when I have to go get a new phone.
Oh, yeah. Like I got a new phone simply for the NCAA tournament last year because I was going to the Sweet 16 and needed an adapter that fit our cord.
So rather than the adapter, you got the phone.
Yeah.
So weird.
Pressed for time.
Hey, look, I can't make this.
They don't have the adapter store.
You know what's popping up on my screen right now?
What? Get a new phone?
No, Men's Warehouse shoes.
Men's Warehouse.
Yeah, we start talking about shoes, and then they start popping up shoes. Very, very strange.
Men's Warehouse.
So did you go Phil Knight?
I think I'm going to go Steve Jobs.
I went Steve Jobs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Me and you, Tyler.
Jeremy, this is what I was looking for. I could not find it. Apple's market cap right now is $3.72 trillion. Nike's is $1.8 118.9 billion.
Yeah.
We were talking 3 trillion to 100 billion.
Yeah.
Big difference.
This is tearing down democracies and governments around the world. Nikes just make us all in better shape and look better. That is 4 Downs, brought to you by
our friends at Slice. 5 locations for you for lunch or dinner. Try out the soul pie, the hot mama, the bajaya special. You're going to absolutely love it. The wing and a prayer. For more information on this great menu, slicebirmingham.com.
And our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama, 16 great locations all over central Alabama, one near you. Guys, stay on top of your health. 205-930-0920, 930-0920. Maybe a good chance to check out your health when you say it incorrectly like I just did. Health, well, like an F at the end of it. 205-930-0920, urologycentersalabama.com. Prostate health, the kidney stones, everything in between, vasectomies, they'll take care of it all for you. It's our friends at UCA, urologycentersalabama.com.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
Think about the best summer nights of your life. How many of those were in a great t-shirt? Visit nextround.store to get the perfect t-shirt for the next perfect southern night. Nextround.store. The memories are waiting.
As we all know, there's no off-season when it comes to college football. If you want to stay in the know with all things Alabama, join us over on covercrimson.com and get $25 off your annual subscription. We'll keep you up to date and give you exclusive content all the way to the first Saturday of football season on covercrimson.com. It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with a TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
All right, Auburn fans, I want you to become a member of thebarnauburn.com and join in on the fun. Whether it's recruiting discussions, off-season chatter, or the latest Auburn athletics news, we've got it all. Get $25 off your annual subscription when you sign up for your account at thebarnauburn.com today. War Eagle.
When you crave activity like we do, you belong in the Roback family. Get the best golf wear, hoodies, and activewear for men and women at Roback.com. Use promo code TNR20 to get 20% off your order. That's Roback.com, promo code TNR20.
Alabama loves champions. And you know what they say, the more, the merrier. The Alabama High School Basketball Finals, presented by Alabama Community College System, February 27th to March 1st on APT.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
right, guys, in just a second.
Oh, no. We're back.
I'm going to need you to get these out and label them 1 to 6 again. We got another Instagram topic that you guys loved so much last week. We're not going to overdo it.
You got a...
Here you go. I got one here for you.
Do you got another marker there, Brown?
What happened to the one I gave you last week, Lance?
I put it back where it went.
Would you tell us about Dr. B first before we get to a couple of things?
Yeah, hey, if you're starting to thin out a little bit, again, man, I'll be sitting back watching college basketball on a Saturday. I'm like, damn, poor kid's 21 years old and he's already thinning out. It happens. It could happen in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. Whenever it starts happening, be preemptive. Dr. Beckenstein, best in the business for more than 20 years. He's been helping men and women around the state of Alabama. And right now, the new T3 test, it's so easy, painless, only takes seconds to perform. They can find out what is going to work for you. Again, I do the 3 treatments a week, 30 minutes each time on the couch. That is it. My hair has more than doubled in thickness. Men and women ordering Hims, other products online, don't even know if they work. Stop wasting your money and time while your hair is falling out on products that don't work. Go to Dr. B and this great staff. Find out what will work. T3hair.net. That is T3hair.net for more information.
Hey, by the way, pretty good, cool way to start off your career. You probably hope you do it opening day too, but Juan Soto, his first at bat in spring training for the Mets, 425-foot home run. Pretty good first at bat there.
I'd say so.
Hope you do it on opening day for him with that. The Rams, going into the weekend and over the weekend, gave Matt Stafford permission to talk to other teams and other teams permissions to talk to Matt Stafford. Yeah. That's a step down the road a little bit.
Yeah, I just don't know what's going on with this because, you go back, I still think if it wasn't played in the snow, and look, this is why you earn home field, I think the Rams probably win that game. And if they win that game, I think they win the Super Bowl. I just think they were playing that good at the end of the year. I think that, they're right there. I mean, the defense is so young, it's going to get better. I don't know why you would take away one of the top 7, 8, 9, 10 quarterbacks in football, pay him whatever you got to pay him. I feel like it is one of those things they go out, he finds a better suitor, somebody that's going to pay him $40-45 million. Do the Rams then come back and match it?
But what he will not find is a better situation.
Not on this list of teams I have.
I mean, this is a team
that Minnesota would be a better situation, or as good.
As good, maybe not better. I mean, y'all were a play away from beating the Eagles who won the Super Bowl in Philadelphia.
I think the defenses are close. Minnesota probably on the back end is a better defense. Minnesota's offensive line is probably better, and they've got the best receiver in football.
Vikings are on that list. Las Vegas is new to the list.
Yeah,
he would be an idiot to go there.
Pittsburgh.
I mean, that is a place where you could go make the playoffs. I don't know that you can win the Super Bowl there.
And do you really want to go
in the AFC?
Yeah, I just don't think you want to do that.
Giants.
No.
Tennessee.
No.
Nope. First pick.
And staying with the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, the Rams and Minnesota are the only 2 options. And everybody's talking about now Sam Darnold comes to L.A. and Stafford goes to Minnesota. I'm just hoping this thing there's not a lot of people there's not a huge market out there for Matt Stafford.
Right.
And I'm hoping that they can find common ground somehow. They did it last year.
NFL is looking at changing the kickoff rule again, tweaking it. They want less touchbacks, which, by the way...
what do you want?
I mean, they can't figure out what they want on this whole kickoff deal. We want returns, but we don't want dangerous returns.
Yeah, we're going to get returns, and it's going to be more injuries, but okay. So they're talking about if you kick it, these are 2 things they're considering, actually 3 options. Touchback, instead of bringing it out to the 30, bringing it out to the 35 to try to get you to
incentivize you to directional kick. Okay.
They're also thinking about backing it up 5 yards on the kickoff or doing both of them. We're backing up 5 yards and bringing it up to 35.
The NFL is overthinking this. I mean, I don't even know how many kickoff returns we had this year. I think we only had
touchdowns. I think 2.
That's what I was good. I think we only had 2 for touchdowns. I was just saying returns. Period. I don't know how many we had.
Major injuries were way down.
Injuries were way down.
You know why? Because a lot of them were touchbacks.
What was up? Were TV ratings up? Were TV ratings good?
Yeah.
Revenue,
everything up.
Was the Super Bowl most watched it's ever been?
Ever.
Why are you worried about what the kickoff is?
Yeah.
Are more people? Do you ever hear anybody say, I was going to watch the NFL this weekend, but boy, they never have kickoff returns for a touchdown. I can't watch this game anymore.
Boy, too many touchbacks.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to watch the Dolphins and the Bills play, but boy, it's nothing but touchbacks when those two play.
Now they're also considering it'll take 24 votes of the 32 teams, but 4th and 15 or 4th and 20 instead of the onside kick. That's in front of the competition.
Now, there's something I could get behind.
I know. It's
already failed once.
It's going to seem hokey, though.
It is going to seem hokey. It's failed once, and that may be why. I don't know, but I was reading an article this morning from Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk, and I can't remember the team that proposed it last time, and they didn't get the votes. I think you said 2/3, right? 24 votes?
24.
I think they feel like they are closer to having the votes this time. Not saying it's going to pass.
Don't hold me to this. I think they got 19 people that would have said yes last time.
I think that was right. I remember that in the article. And whoever was the source was saying they feel like more people have come over, but they still don't know if they've got the 24 needed.
Shedeur Sanders not going to throw at the combine this week. He is doing interviews. That's not a big deal. The quarterbacks love to throw to their receivers on Colorado's pro day there. So that is some of the NFL conversation that gets us to a couple of our great sponsors. One of them is our friends at Michelson Laser Vision. They got you that fighter pilot vision.
2015 vision better than 2020. Look, you've been procrastinating. You wear contacts. You wear glasses. You're wasting money each and every year. I'm speaking from experience. Make the phone call that I made, 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. She's going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. Dr. Mark Michelson, the first to perform the LASIK procedure back in 1995 right here in the state of Alabama. True pioneer. They are the best. 205-969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
The College Football Spotlight
is presented each day by McCurry Van and Car Rental, the local rental company you can depend on. All kinds of trucks, SUVs, and passenger vans, easy to rent, in and out fast. Locations in Athens, Muscle Shoals, Huntsville, 2nd Avenue Northwest in Coleman, Skyland Boulevard in Tuscaloosa. Reserve that rental today, 256-559-1003 or McCurryRentals.com.
All right, put 1 through 6 here. It's Instagram, social media style. You got to rank them as they're called out today. Scott Forrester with the topic, and he'll throw out the names, so I've got no insight on him whatsoever. Forrester, what are we doing today?
Okay. We are going to rank SEC quarterbacks who started at least one college football game in 2024.
Okay.
Which, of course, rules out any Alabama quarterback.
That does. Alabama off the list.
So are we going to have to lock these in right when we hear it?
Yes.
Yeah. Instagram style.
Can I ask a question? I think I know the answer to. Austin Simmons did not get a start at all last year. Jackson Dart started every game, right?
He did
okay.
not get a
all
start.
right, thank you.
Okay.
So, and real quick, this is quarterback that we would want the most would be number one?
Best quarterback, number one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Just clarify.
Yeah. So obviously there's only 6 on our list.
Yep.
It won't be every quarterback. Obviously, Alabama had no starters, so there's no Alabama, but it's anywhere in college football, not with the team you're with. So here we go.
Here we go. Coming in hot. Arch.
Ooh.
I think he's going to give us Lenoris Sellers later, so I'm going to hold off. I guess I'm going to go second with Arch. Hang on with second with Arch.
Are we showing immediately?
Yeah.
I got fourth.
Wow.
Again, I mean, Quinn Ewers, if you went Quinn Ewers on this, I wouldn't have Quinn Ewers 1 or 2. And it's sight unseen. And he wasn't as good as Quinn last year. So, maybe I'm going to be wrong. Maybe Arch is going to go out there, completely slay it, win the Heisman. They win a national championship. But I'm going 4, middle of the pack.
I went 3 even before you said it. Nice little 3 for me.
Why is that a nice little 3?
I'm just saying that Arch Manning I think he'll be really good with a lot of talent around him.
And what was it not coming out of high school?
Not played great
level of
competition.
But it's the same competition as 2 uncles played, and they turned out okay. So
but I wonder if it was a little bit different back then. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, that's always been a small private school in New Orleans that has played. I don't even know. Well, I don't know. I'd be speaking out of turn there. I was going to say, like here in Alabama, they have AISA for the smaller private schools, and I don't know if they were even playing, like if Newman even plays the equivalent of AHSAA here.
Let me ask you, was it duplicity with Michael Keaton? Multiplicity?
Multiplicity.
Yeah, that was multiplicity.
Never saw it, though.
I mean, you can keep going to this family tree, Brown, but at some point, He's just that DNA gets spread out a little bit. It's not Manning's marrying Manning's. There's other families being factored in here. So good luck, Arch, being as good as Peyton and Eli.
Do you think there's no way? I feel confident saying he will ever be as good as Peyton. Do you think he could scratch the surface of Eli?
I do, yes. Although Eli thinks better than you give him credit for.
No, I think Eli was a really, really good B+, A- quarterback.
I'll point out again, Ole Miss, to my knowledge, since then has never been in a singular game where if they win, they go to the SEC championship game.
That could be as much about the SEC, though, being tougher around them than it was
Maybe
that
so.
time. That was was the Western Division.
Yeah, they would have under Hugh Freeze, remember?
Yeah, but they still had to win games after that. That wasn't like.
I thought that was it. Well, I guess they would have had to beat Mississippi State, but they would have.
Well, I don't know. Not based on Ole Miss's track record, they would have.
Would it not surprise you guys, though? It would not surprise me if in December, when we're looking back at the SEC season, one of the talking points is that Arch Manning did not live up to expectations. That will not shock me.
It's probably going to be one of my 3 guarantees that Arch will not be the first or second all-SEC quarterback at the end of the season. Now, the only thing that scares me on that is such a quarterback-friendly system.
It is. Okay. It is. Sark's a good play caller. What's the next name there?
All right, next up, DJ Lagway.
Yeah, you started hot with Arch there.
He said coming in hot.
Yeah.
I am going to go 4th with DJ Lagway.
I am going to go 3rd with Lagway. I said it the other day. I forgot who we had on. Maybe it was Pate. But I said I would rather have Lagway than Arch coming into this season.
You went 2nd with DJ. Huh?
Yeah. DJ Lagway 2nd. My concern there with him is Arch has got more talent around him.
Oh, yeah. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But I think DJ, just based on what we saw, man, he's still so raw. And just scratching the surface with his potential.
Much more difficult schedule for DJ Lagway than Arch will play.
True. What is next, Forrester?
Up next, boys, we got Jackson Arnold.
Now, look, I'm going to put him 6th. I just don't. There are reasons he didn't perform well at Oklahoma, right?
Yeah,
I get that.
Didn't have any receivers. The offensive
line
line was horrible. He's got a questionable head coach.
I get all those things. Yeah. I will say this. If he played, if this is just your top 6, if none of the newcomers work their way in there and you get number 6 out of 16 out of Jackson Arnold, that's not going to be that terrible.
No, I mean, with the names you're giving us right now, I've got Jackson Arnold number 5. I believe there's a lot of upside for him.
Yeah, you do too.
I think if you would have put Arch Manning behind that offensive line with those lack of receivers last year at Oklahoma, Arch would have had a terrible year.
Would have probably been going somewhere else, too.
I would say Shadur Sanders, but he played behind that offensive line.
He did.
He just had better receivers.
Yeah.
And he's just better.
Yeah, he's better.
I'll go number 5 as well for Jackson Arnold. Thought about 6, but I'd already
we
started
were
to write
very
the
close
J at
on
5.
this list, Dunaway. Very close.
Yeah, we're off a little bit. We're going to vary here at some point, I bet.
I will say.
Because there's one guy, if he's on this list, there's a lot of quarterbacks that will not be here that we differ on. Who's next?
Lenoris Sellers.
That's number 1 for me.
Yeah, it's going to be number 1 for me, too. I think we're still sleeping on him a little bit. I think this show was the first to the party.
I think we were. We were pretty early on Lenoris Sellers, I think. Because I tell you, I just remember against LSU in a game they should have won. They got a bad call in that game.
Wow.
When he went out, you had him 4th behind Arch Manning?
Danny Cannell must be dogging him out.
Yeah.
No. Lenoris Sellers for me is at 4th.
I think he is.
Saw him in the Alabama game, and I don't think he's going to end up being
You
better
saw him in
than
the Alabama game. They almost won the game.
Yeah, but not because of him. I think they lost it because of him. Bad decision at the end.
I mean, he didn't make the best decisions down the stretch.
He did
but
not.
I do think, much like I think he's better than Lagway, but still just scratching the surface. My fear there is Shane Beamer. And his offensive coordinator now is
Mike Shula. That is worrisome.
That scares me to death.
That is worrisome.
Okay. But y'all got him at
But I
number
still got
1.
him at
I
one,
do. I think he's the best one.
Yeah, he's the most talented so far that we've got.
I'm counting on. I'm hoping there's one guy still out there that would be my number 1.
Is it Garrett Nussmeier?
It is Garrett Nussmeier.
3 for me.
Yeah, this is the first. I'm like, damn. I wish I could put him at 4th or 3rd.
Yeah, I got him 3rd. I've got him behind Arch and in front of DJ Lagway.
Wait. You wish you could put him lower?
Yeah.
And you have him where?
Well, I mean,
Third?
I've only got 2 and 6 left, so I'm putting him at 2nd. But
Oh.
I think he's a good, solid quarterback. But
experience back with the talent that he's got around him at LSU, he'll be first team All SEC when it's said and done.
I mean, maybe.
G Nuss.
I think he's a really.
I'm on the G Nuss bus.
I think he's a really good quarterback, but
with another year of experience, was last year his first year starting?
No, he had some starts, but not a lot. I think he had 3 before last year.
Yeah, I mean, last year was his first year as a starter following a Heisman Trophy winner.
I just don't think he's as talented as DJ Lagway. But, I mean, outside of that, I mean, Sellers and Lagway are the only ones that I feel like have more talent.
Well, I was nervous about my list, but now I feel like it's the best list up here. Who's 5? Who's 6?
Where do you guys think I'm going with this one?
I think you're going to go, and I'm going to probably regret leaving number 5 open for this guy.
Yeah, I think you're either going Nico or Stockton. Who else is out there?
I think you're going Nico.
Well, I was thinking we were going to the
wrong.
I think we were going to the Music City boys.
Yeah.
I think we're going to Vanderbilt
Diego?
football. I think we're going to anchor down with Diego.
I hope so.
It could be Music City with Will Levis, who would still. I'd be comfortable with 6 on this list. Who
You're
you
all
got?
wrong.
Taylor Green?
John Mateer.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. I would.
Probably didn't leave a space for him. I've got to put him 5th. That's all I got left.
Yeah,
but
I would have put him 2nd.
I'd at least flip him and Lagway in mine. I don't really hate mine, but I would have a tier higher.
I hate if I could just flip 2 and I don't know. I don't like mine now. Yeah.
I'd only flip.
don't.
I'd only flip 5 and 6 on mine. I had to put him 6. That was the only one left. I'd put him 5th and Arnold. I mean, he did it at Washington State, but
yeah, and he is going to now a questionable coach in Brent Venables, and look, I know he's got his guy coming with him. But how much better is the offensive line going to be? How much better are the receivers and the running backs? I mean, the skill around him is not what we're used to at Oklahoma.
yeah. All right, that's social media, Instagram story style. 6, you had to fill them in real time. Forrester, great job there. Let's take a snapshot and reflect on those when we get through the college football season.
Did we have anything that was universal?
You and I both had Sellers 1. And Jim didn't.
I had him 4th. I had Nuss, Lagway, Manning, Sellers, Arnold.
We had
and
Arnold
Mateer.
5th. What do you have 5th?
I had Arnold 6, so we
were
all
close
think,
on that.
Yeah, we all think Arnold's going to be mid-tier SEC quarterback.
No Alabama quarterback because none of them started. No Nico.
Okay, sight unseen.
No Stockton.
Would you take any Alabama quarterback over these 6 guys?
Not sight unseen, I would.
I would say that the Alabama quarterback probably would slide in at 5.
I think they would be in the Mateer. Well, I would have Mateer higher, but I'm with Jonaway in the 5-6 hole right there for me.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you could have one of these quarterbacks or anybody on Alabama's roster.
I think I would take Nussmeier, Lagway, Manning.
I'd take all 6 of these.
I would not.
I just haven't seen enough of Arnold play good football to know.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I know there are reasons he didn't, but I'd like to see him do some of it before I'm just all in on him.
I mean, and you got to look at this. I mean, as good as Milroe was, he was that bad, and his job was never in jeopardy.
By the way, Nico and Stockton wouldn't have made my top 6, so good leaving them out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Stockton would have. There was a place at 6 for him, and same with Nico.
Yeah, I would have put Nico or Stockton at 6 if that had been the first name Scott threw out there.
Yeah.
Hey, I thought about throwing Taylon Green in there too.
I like Taylon Green. I like him more than those two.
What about Diego? Did you even consider Diego?
He was under consideration. So was Stockton.
Yeah.
Nico. Yeah.
Well, there's we could do this tomorrow with 6 more guys.
We could go 6 more.
That is our spotlight today, brought to you by our friends at McCurry.
McCurryRentals.com is where you start. McCurryRentals.com.
And our friends at New York Butcher Shop. Great time to get in. And by the way, mid-60s, high 60s tomorrow. Grilling season, boys. Welcome.
Oh, hey, I was in there on Saturday. Me and Jack went by there, picked up some steaks for Saturday night. He gave me this incredible brown rice recipe too.
Oh, did he give you
French
that with
onion?
Yes, that is so good.
Oh my gosh, with the mushrooms,
it is fantastic.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, I
He
was
gave
sitting
me that
there.
menu. He gave me that one a while
as
back.
As good as the steak is, and
Yeah.
I'm really convinced. I'm kind of like you now that like my steak is as good or better than any steak that I can go out and spend $70 on.
Yeah.
But the side of the rice,
it is fantastic.
Was almost as good as the steak,
and it's a pretty easy recipe.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Look, Jim, just fantastic dude. His butchers do a fantastic job as well. 2 locations: the one I go to, Highway 119 in Greystone, the Cava Heights location from the fresh meats, the fantastic selection of wines and great desserts, deli sandwiches, turnkey for dinner, rare quality, well done service. Get in, see Jim, that fine folks at the New York Butcher Shop.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations: Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Do you need some refreshed college wear to represent your team this year? Shop Roback's Game Day collection that includes both Alabama and Auburn. From quarter zips to hoodies, Roback has it all. Get 20% off on us using code TNR20 at roback.com.
No matter the occasion, the Next Round store has you covered with whatever you need. Head over to nextround.store and start filling your cart up now. When you wear your gear, make sure to let us know by posting on socials, and you might just end up seeing yourself during a commercial break. Go browse now at nextround.store and place your order before the break ends.
When the clock hits 0, go to all Next Round video platforms for instant reactions for the latest Auburn and Alabama basketball games. Follow, like, subscribe, and set those alerts. The madness starts now, so be a part of it at Next Round Live on all social platforms. Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
There's no off-season at covercrimson.com. Sign up now and get daily shows plus behind-the-scenes intel that will keep your Alabama fandom rolling all the way up until kickoff. Follow Cover Crimson on all social platforms and sign up today at covercrimson.com.
As we all know, there's no off-season when it comes to college football. If you want to stay in the know with all things Auburn, join us over on thebarnauburn.com and get $25 off your annual subscription. We'll keep you up to date and give you exclusive content all the way to the first Saturday of football season on thebarnauburn.com.
Take TNR on the go with a podcast built for your satisfaction. Miss Hour 1? Find it in podcast form. Miss Hour 2? Stream it now. Miss Hour 3? Download it for later. Miss Hour 4? Well, just know it's never coming back. Listen to TNR wherever you find podcasts.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Hey, friends, if you're looking to expand your business and inform the Next Round audience about your exciting brand, contact us at sales@nextroundlive.com to be part of the team and advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential consumers on our ever-expanding platform. Let the Next Round help take your business to the next level. Get more information by emailing us at sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to build a plan to take your business to the next level with the Next Round.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Still a lot to get to this final hour of the show. That includes back to college basketball in a second. UAP poll out a little bit later on today. We'll see where Alabama drops and if Auburn can be the unanimous number one or if Duke gets some momentum. You'll hear from Bruce Pearl, Nate Oats, and Samantha Kennedy. They've set the table for a big matchup this week. That's all coming up in this final hour of the show. LTD&B with you, Melton and Forrester and Tyler behind the big glass, Taylor Corn handling everything on social media today at Next Round Live. Give us a thumbs up, like, and subscribe wherever you're watching us at Next Round Live today. A little college football first. Before we get to that, Champy's Chicken bringing you part of the show today, as they always do. The best chicken in town. When you talk about the atmosphere and how much work that Sterling pours into it, this chicken's brined overnight, cooked to order with a special recipe there. And Sterling makes it just so comfortable for you with a great atmosphere. A wonderful bar, perfect for happy hour, date night, destination lunch location there. Just great southern food right there with the hand-cut chicken fingers, the po' boys, the chicken on a stick, the great sausage, cheese, and pickle plate, the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. It is a place you can take someone from the north, those damn Yankees, they want to eat like us. Take them to Champy's on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Is champyschicken.com. Stuart Mandel, when the Big Ten and the SEC got together and they started to leak out the college football playoff plan to have 4 auto bids for the Big Ten and the SEC, called it arrogant the way they were acting, the arrogance of the SEC and the Big Ten. Well, now he writes at The Athletic, I went back and I did the research, 2014, 2024, those 10 years, 11 years of the playoffs and the 1 year of the 12-team playoffs, and using the way we're proposing it now, turns out, as we've said all along, Stewart's research shows it would not really have changed things too much.
Really?
SEC and the Big Ten would have averaged about 4 bids a year.
Yep.
1 year they may have gotten 3. 1 year they would have gotten 5.
Do you know, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, is he looking back and saying Texas and Oklahoma count as SEC teams? Because that would even increase it more.
I don't know if he was or not.
Okay, well, go ahead.
But in 2014 through 2024, he goes, in fact, the SEC would have had 5 teams in 2019 and would have left out 13th ranked Alabama with only 4 bids in, and would have put in 24th ranked Virginia by giving the ACC 2 bids. He said, so when you go back and look, there are years that the Big 12 may have gotten 3 in, that the ACC may have gotten 3 in, but most often it would have been 4 SEC, 4 Big 10, 2 ACC, 2 Big 12. I wonder.
Give me a random year. Just throw a random year out.
2016.
Do 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, while you're doing that, I'm just wondering. So do you think maybe Greg Sankey and the SEC folks maybe sat down, looked at 2014 through 2024 and came up with a middling there, saying, oh, if we all had 4 bids, guaranteed, regardless of our record, we decide who the 4 bids are. You guys take 2 each. Notre Dame's has got a spot. Group of 5's got a spot. That's going to be sort of the norm.
Well,
you think they did any research before they came up with this?
Somebody might have even said, Greg, actually, over the course of this period of time, that would have cost you a bid. And he's like, we'll worry about that.
Yeah. Y'all picked a random ass
All right,
year.
2016, what we got? Give it to me. You just going to go 1 through 16?
What rankings are you using, though?
I'm using the week before the college football playoffs and the bowl. So the final regular season poll.
All right.
Final regular playoff ranking.
College football playoff ranking?
Yeah.
Okay. Fire away. And we'll just go 1 through 16. You're 1 seed?
This is crazy. 1 seed, Alabama.
Okay.
2 seed.
There was a lot of that back
God,
then.
I love 2016.
Yes, all right.
2 seed, Clemson.
Okay.
That's
3
an ACC.
seed, Ohio State.
All right, there's
Hold
a
on,
Big Ten. Jim's going to keep up with it.
SEC, Big Ten,
ACC. All right, go.
This is going to be really interesting.
Okay.
Number 4 is Washington, a little Pac-12 action.
Now Big Ten, though, so let's go Big Ten.
Number 5 is Penn State.
Another Big Ten. Wow, Big Ten.
Number 6 is Michigan.
Whoa,
Big Ten,
4
okay.
Big Tens.
Number 7 is Oklahoma. You got to go Big 12.
Well, no, but we'll go SEC for this exercise, though.
Okay. Number 8, Wisconsin.
Another Big Ten. Holy crap.
Number 9, USC.
Another Big Ten.
So you went Washington Big Ten too, right?
Yep.
Number 10 on here, Colorado.
That's Big 12.
Yep.
Number 11, Florida State.
ACC.
Okay.
Number 12, Oklahoma State.
Damn. Where was the SEC this year?
Number 13, Louisville.
Oh, ACC. It's ringing the bell again.
Your first 4-loss team at number 14, the Auburn Tigers.
Okay. What are we up to? 3 in the SEC, Jim?
Western Michigan, PJ Fleck, number 15.
There's your group of 5.
And then finally, West Virginia at 16.
Another Big 12. Okay, that'd be the one year where the SEC's like, well, thank God for this.
Yeah. Isn't that random that you
That
guys
is
give me
random
16?
that we made the argument, Jim, and then we randomly picked the one year where the argument does not work.
Yeah.
Well, how many Big Ten did you have?
A lot.
6.
6, yeah. Now, this is hard to do because, like, USC was playing in the Pac-12. Could they have had that same record with a Big Ten schedule? Probably not.
Probably not.
So this is a little imperfect doing it this way.
Yeah, so let's go last year.
Okay. You were talking about in 2024?
2024.
Because we had everybody in
the one
their,
where everybody was in their conference.
in their assigned conferences.
Okay, I will take it back to...
This is where it's going to make the SEC like they're giving 10% to God here.
Okay, number 1 is Oregon.
All right.
Oregon. That's Big Ten.
That is correct.
Number 2 is Georgia.
SEC.
Number 3 is Texas.
SEC.
Number 4, Penn State.
Big Ten.
You notice your top 4 did not play for a national championship. It's pretty crazy back in the 14 playoff day. Number 5 on the list, Notre Dame.
Okay, Notre Dame gets one. Yep.
Number 6, Ohio State.
Big Ten.
Number 7, Tennessee.
SEC.
Number 8, Indiana.
Big Ten.
Number 9, your Group 5, Boise.
Boise. Okay.
Number 10, SMU.
ACC.
11, Alabama.
Roll.
12, Arizona State.
Big 12.
Big 12 is.
13, Miami.
ACC.
14, Ole Miss.
SEC.
15, South Carolina.
SEC.
And 16, Clemson.
ACC.
All right,
So
what do
the
we get?
SEC would have had 6.
Right. Only asking for 4, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Big Ten would have had their 4.
Uh-huh.
ACC would have gotten 3 instead of 2. Big 12 would have gotten one instead of 2. Notre Dame got 1. Group of 5 got 1. But there would be, with the 16-team playoffs, there would be 2 wild cards.
So is there did you only have 6? Well, yeah, that was 16 teams.
Yeah.
And that did include Boise. So the SEC would have gotten all 6 in.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying, yeah. Okay.
Do you
Because you had
think
4 automatic and then you
Yeah.
had 2 wild cards.
with those 16, do you think anything plays out differently? I mean, really, the only team that can make noise would have been Alabama if you got really good Jalen Milroe.
It's hard to believe they would have done it 4 straight games.
Just to use it for the example, we had to have one more Big 12. So take out who was 16?
Number 16 was Clemson.
So Clemson would have been out.
Then BYU would have been 17th, so BYU would have been in.
BYU would have been in. Clemson would have missed it.
But I guess Iowa State would have technically been in because they played.
Wait, but Clemson
won the championship, so SMU would have missed it.
So SMU
No,
would have
Miami
missed it.
would have missed
Or Miami,
it.
that's right.
Miami would have
Yeah,
missed it.
yeah.
And actually, BYU probably would have missed this because Iowa State played for the Big 12 championship. They ended up 18 right behind BYU.
Yeah, they would have adjusted
yeah.
the rankings.
Yeah, probably had Iowa State in there. So, see, that's how it would work. But the SEC would have gotten all 6 in, and they're just asking for 4. And then if the chips fall where they may.
And the Big Ten had 4.
Yeah, and see, that was my point all along was the 4 they're asking for, they're going to get those 4.
Yeah.
Well, now with the expansion to 16, I mean,
so
you're not going to have a 2016.
By what the SEC is saying, we just want a minimum of 4. And if we earn more, we get more. If we don't earn more, we don't get more. We want a minimum of 4 so we can play that 9th game, maybe play a Big Ten SEC challenge. Our schedule is going to be hella compared to yours in the ACC and the Big 12. And we shouldn't be punished for that. We don't need SMU sneaking in, having not played the same type of schedule as Ole Miss or as Texas A&M or as Georgia. So I'm okay with it. I think the world will come around to end up saying, it really is fair what they're trying to do.
I mean, is there anything that is in college football that you're not used to yet outside of the fact that guys are making millions and millions of dollars?
Yeah.
That'd be the one thing.
No, truthfully, I had to sit there and go, okay, Big 10.
Yeah.
Big 12.
No,
It is hard.
I mean, outside of realignment. I mean, I'm just saying we get used to most of this stuff. 16-team playoff with so many bids per conference. We'll get used to that.
It's funny, though, Lance, that we used to talk about how the semifinals, I mean, really, do we even need 4 teams? Like, the semifinals are so bad. When have we had a good semifinal game?
Yep.
And sometimes it was like, we got 3 good teams. We've got to find a 4th one. I don't know who the 4th one's going to be. And then the 1 year we expanded beyond that, a team from the middle of the pack wins it all.
Yeah, did we ever talk about, how did you guys think year one of the playoffs? I mean, letter grade. I don't know if we ever did that.
We did.
Well,
I'd say B+.
I'd go with B because they screwed the seating up, number 1. And then number 2.
Technically, they didn't screw it up. We knew what it was going to be.
Yeah, it
just was a bad
No,
plan
I
to
would,
start with.
I would go C-. We only had 1 or 2 good games.
Well, that's what I was going to say is the
Yeah,
reason
and the seating was screwed
The reason
up.
I go B is the seating was screwed up and we didn't have enough good games. But I would make the case that our expectation of how many good games we should get might have been a little bit off. I think that might be our fault.
Yeah.
Like we play, and I made this point, Lance, is we play up the NFL playoffs like they're all one-possession games. Go to that first weekend in the NFL playoffs and look what you did.
Yep. And they're not.
They're not. They're not all one-possession games.
Yeah, but still, Tennessee, Ohio State.
No, it was a bad game.
Yeah, then Ohio State, Oregon. We shouldn't have gotten that game. You shouldn't have gotten.
Oregon, now seeding created some of this.
Yeah, Oregon should not have been playing Ohio State
That's
at that
right.
point.
Well, and Georgia didn't have their quarterback.
Yeah.
They end up losing by double digits to Notre Dame. How different is that game if Carson Beck's playing? They probably win the game.
But truthfully, Detroit and Washington wasn't the game it should have been in the NFL.
No, that ended up being kind of a blowout.
Yeah.
Houston and who did Houston play in the first round? And they ended up
Chiefs.
blowing out. Chargers. Houston Chargers ended up being kind of a blowout.
Tampa Bay and Washington wasn't a blowout, but wasn't a great game either.
Yeah.
It was sort of Tennessee,
now,
Ohio
you
State.
have more good games because, like we mentioned, Rams-Eagles. That was a fantastic game. Kansas City and Buffalo was a fantastic game. But then we got to the Super Bowl, and it was a crap game.
Yeah.
So, I think sometimes we hold these – I say sometimes, it's only been 1 year, but I think we held these college playoffs to a bit too high of a standard.
That's right.
Thinking it was going to give us all these good games instantly.
And it's impossible. You don't get that on a football Saturday, a normal Saturday.
9 of the 11 games were decided by double digits.
Yeah.
Of the college football playoff?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I'm not saying it was great, but I am saying I think our standard was a bit too high.
But when we do the biggest game every Saturday, it's like, oh, man, I cannot wait. I mean, some of the big games this year were supposed to be like Indiana, Ohio State. Bad punt.
Punt
return. Kick return.
Yeah, block punt and a kick return.
Yeah, changed that whole game. Never felt like it was in doubt. I mean, you get those big games on Saturday, and you're like, that didn't live up to it. I wanted that to be such a good game.
Yeah, but then immediately you can bury it by turning to one of your other TVs or
You can.
getting ready for the next slate.
Tell us about Odie's, and I'm going to ask you guys a hypothetical question in honor of the great Nick Saban.
I had an opportunity to go to the newest Odie's in Edgewood on Saturday afternoon to watch Auburn and Georgia. Fantastic place.
Did you get chili?
I did not get chili.
Oh, I love their chili.
I did not get chili, but I thought about getting chili. I saw somebody eating chili.
Did you take chili with you?
I did not. I thought about taking chili with me, but if I take chili, I got to take Bullet.
The dog, not the bowl.
By the way, blow up at the dog park yesterday.
Bullet did?
No, before I got there. After I had gotten there, something had gone down really bad.
Did not involve your
nothing that
dogs.
involved
It
you or
didn't
your
involve
dogs?
me, but I'm glad I wasn't the first to show up at the dog park.
Was there a fist fight?
There was a
Gun?
attack.
An
No,
attack?
A dog attack.
Oh, dog attack. Okay.
And the owner tried to get between the two dogs, and then the dog ended up taking him down, and they had to take him to the ER. And it was bad. I'll tell you guys a story.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, a dog's going to be put down today, which really, really sucks. Yeah. I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, yeah,
Odie's.
Jillian Bullet almost made it to Odie's, but they didn't. I did. Fantastic place. That's the newest location. The original Crestline. Great food, both locations. Live music on Fridays and Saturdays. Odie's Team Trivia every Wednesday. Get in and see Will Avery and that great staff. Odie's Tavern, Birmingham Institution.
Yeah, tell me the story, because my little dogs occasionally go to a dog park, and it's always a gamble.
It was a complete fluke what happened, but there are fostered dogs up there. if you know where I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And one of them had gotten out of its pen.
Oh, no.
A pit. And,
pit bull?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay, here's your hypothetical question.
But Chili or Bullet would be dead if we'd have been the first to show up.
Thank God you weren't.
Probably. Or I would be.
Thank God all those Rangers.
Because they would have helped out.
Well, they would have both gotten in the mix, and those pits, man, they grab you by the trachea and shake it out, and
it's a bad way to go.
Lights out.
Yep.
You're an athletic director. We'll say you're the AD. We'll go Alabama first. No, let's go Auburn first.
Okay.
You're the AD at Auburn. You have an unlimited budget to do whatever you want to do. What's your top priority? What's your first thing you do with an unlimited budget? And you're the athletic director at Auburn. I'll ask you Alabama in a second. So you're Mr. Cohen. I walk in and I said, here is all the gold in Fort Knox. Pretending there's still gold in Fort Knox.
I look at who
Eli says he's going to give us a tour on video.
I mean, again, I really believe, and this is going to upset some people if your kid plays volleyball or women's basketball or whatever. There are two sports. Like if you're elite at both men's basketball and football, nobody's really going to pay attention to the rest of the athletic department. So I go to your most recent national champion in football in Ohio State. Well, how did they do it? Well, it was pretty well documented. They spent $20 million.
Yeah.
So if we're really flush with all this cash, we're going to do whatever we have to do to have the best portal class in college football.
Yeah,
so your top priority was NIL.
Yeah.
NIL is probably the right answer for both programs. So beyond NIL, and they're already doing this, but I would upgrade my exclusive seating at Auburn.
At Jordan-Hare Stadium?
At Jordan-Hare Stadium, yeah, because that's where this world's going anyway.
See, I've never been in one of their
Oh,
suites.
they're nice. I'm not saying they're not nice. I'm just saying I would add more, which they're doing in that end zone project that involves the new scoreboard.
They're not quite going to 85 and giving each recruit their own suite, which was
your
my plan.
Yeah.
But that would be number 2 if you were Cohen?
Yeah, I think so. I'd go NIL first, and then I would get as much exclusive seating as I could because that's where your money's coming from in the future.
Yeah, there was a time with Saban where you would have gone Coleman Coliseum, redo, just completely destruct it.
Yeah. So that's what I would ask you about Alabama. What would you do?
I still would go NIL.
Well, I'd go NIL, but I think my second move at Alabama would be build a new basketball arena.
It would be.
That'd be my second move behind NIL. If you take NIL off the table, which is your right answer to begin with, if you take that off the table, I go more luxury suites at Auburn and update everything I got. I make sure they're top of the line at Auburn in my luxury suites, and I build a new arena for Alabama. I don't know what your non-NIL would be at Auburn.
And I don't know what the third issue would be at either. I mean, if Hugh Freeze has a losing season this year, I'd get him out.
Yeah. I was wondering if that would be anybody's consideration.
I don't think that. I said this last year. I don't think that's going to happen though. So I think that'll take care of itself. But yeah, I mean, now how much? I don't even know what his buyout is.
Like if you had
Hugh Freeze, it's very Auburn friendly because keep in mind he was getting a second shot at the SEC.
That's true.
But let me ask you. I mean, again, it's all the money in the world. So you got an unlimited budget, so you can buy him out, and you can go buy any other coach that you would want. Who would you go buy?
Well, if you're one of those coaches that you could go buy, then they look at this and they're like, "Damn, boy, Auburn likes to fire coaches."
Yeah,
so
but that was old Auburn. Now they've got all the money in the world.
Yeah, but
they can pay. If I get fired, I get $40 million.
That's right, and that's the thing. Auburn has gotten this label of they like to fire coaches, which Auburn has earned that label. They have fired coaches. All of them walk away with a payday. There is not one. Now, Hugh Freeze's will be smaller than others if he does get fired.
I can't ever remember saying, damn, I feel sorry for that guy.
No, I mean.
No, me either.
You any of them. You go back to Tommy Tuberville, Gene Chizik. I'm just going to name the coaches here. Even Brian Harsin, who was the least successful coach Auburn's had in a very long time, walked away with a nice payday. So all those guys, and that's the thing. That's why Auburn has to do the big buyouts, is because they've gotten labeled this way, and the agents like Jimmy Sexton won't deal with them unless they can get a big buyout.
There's no such thing as a truth serum, I don't think. There's some urban legends. Maybe there is something that makes you lean. Tyler would know this. Something that makes you tell the truth.
Well, I think
tequila does, but do you know? Is there like really a truth serum that you can actually give somebody?
I think people always call sodium pentothal a truth serum, but I don't know how accurate it is in just making someone only tell the truth.
Yeah, no, I think all the little videos you see after root canal coming back when moms are talking to their daughters or sons in the car and they're videotaping them. That's pretty close when you're coming off that gas.
They don't make a lot of sense, but let's just say that you had both John Cohen and Greg Burns sitting down and drinking tequila, and they were being completely honest with you. Do you think both feel really confident they've got their football coaches for the next 5 to 7 years?
No. I mean, really confident? Like, I think Cohen feels like I've hired a good coach, but I've got to see some results. I mean, it's been 2 years that have been very, very mid-tier 2 years for me, actually below Auburn's expectations. There's no doubt about that. And I think if you're Greg Byrne, you're like, I've still got faith in Kalen DeBoer, but the first year was a little rocky. I need to see year 2 to make sure.
Yeah, I would have confidence in both. And if you're Greg Byrne, like, who else would you have hired where it would have been completely different?
No, there's not. That was my point.
Yeah.
If he had all the money in the world, all the money in the world, he could have thrown all the money he wanted at Kirby or Sark.
I do think Kirby probably would have been different, but that might be the only one. It would have been different with Sark.
Or Dan Lanning or any of those guys. Yeah.
I don't think so either. Maybe Kirby.
I mean,
just
maybe
because
you're 3-loss instead of 4-loss, but
I think there's also, obviously, like new facilities, that's exciting for fans that spend their money and go to these games. But I think also the NIL is exciting because you get virtually a new roster every year.
Yeah, and I guarantee you that people like DeBoer or Nate Oates or Hugh Freeze, Bruce Pearl. I think Bruce even put something on the back burner saying we need the NIL first.
Well, that was the basketball
only,
at the practice-only facility where he's like, I'd rather that money be spent now. They're going to get the practice-only facility, and he's going to get NIL money, so he's going to get the best of both worlds. But he did point-blank say that. I'd rather the money be spent on NIL right now.
Yeah, 100%. NIL is where it's at.
And that was when the Kentucky job came open last year. Nate Oates had already gotten his contract extension, but obviously when your name gets floated for Kentucky, you're going to use it for leverage. And his leverage was NIL in the basketball practice facility.
Yeah.
That was his leverage.
All right, so that's the little hypothetical for you here. Back to basketball and trash in the next segment. Show being brought to you today by our friends at Hemphill. Air conditioning time tomorrow. You may not turn it on today. You'll need to turn it on tomorrow with our friends at Hemphill.
Yeah, 205-229-2090. Call the number that Birmingham has been calling since 1954. Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. If you experience any plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken. If renting is putting a dent in your bank account, here's your sign from the universe that it's time to buy a new home. And who better to help you through the ins and outs of home buying than our friends at Mortgage Right. With Mortgage Right, you don't have to worry about becoming a short notice mortgage expert because they do all the heavy lifting for you. They're trusted mortgage professionals, and they'll help you choose the right mortgage option and stand by your side every step of the way. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to buy before renting runs you dry. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. 3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Since you listened to my last message so well and got rid of those cargo shorts and stained t-shirts, it's time to replace them with Rhoback. Go to Rhoback.com and click on the refreshed collection to find all that you need for an EG-approved wardrobe. It includes pieces that will have you ready to hit the golf course after a busy day of meetings or comfy favorites for travel and working from home. Get 20% off using code TNR20. See, I'm saving you some money. Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com. The latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com. That's nextroundlive.com.
Okay, before LT tells us about Woodhouse, how about an A-bomb from A-Rod this past weekend?
That's all I can think of.
He shows up at the Bucknell basketball game. Bucknell and Army playing each other. At halftime, they're going to let A-Rod shoot a half-court shot. And if he hits the half-court shot, Owen, a student at Bucknell, gets a $10,000 check. So A-Rod, with a high bounce, off the dribble, bottoms. How about that?
That's unbelievable.
And look, he's almost as excited as Owen is.
Oh, yeah. What was amazing is, ESPN on SportsCenter, they do their top 10. Where do you think that thing came in?
Number 1.
It was number 10.
Number 10.
They had some softball that got a late jump on the left fielder got a late jump on a foul ball, and she ended up falling over the fence. Was their number 1, which was.
Don't you think A-Rod probably gives the kid $10,000 if he misses? I mean, A-Rod's got a ton of cash.
I mean, and even more now. He's the majority owner of the Timberwolves.
But still,
what was he doing at the game?
That is a good question.
I don't know.
I thought the same thing. I'm like, there's no way you could pay him to be there.
How bored would you have to be to go to a Bucknell game? I've never seen Dr. Zhivago. I think I would rather stay home and put in 3.5 hours on Dr. Zhivago.
Bucknell's in Pennsylvania?
I don't even know where Bucknell is.
Is that correct?
I thought it was New York.
Bucknell University is located in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. To put that on a map for you.
Outside of Pittsburgh?
Jim is is this Ivy League, Bucknell?
No. Outside of Philly or Pittsburgh?
Well, I'm trying to close the map down here so I can see.
What is the really famous sandwich with the French fries on it?
That is, what is the name of that place? First of all, it is.
I mean, you might have been in town for that.
I've eaten one, Lance, and it's
that's at Permante's.
Permante's. Yeah. It's not as good as I wanted it to be, Scott.
It was decent. Yeah. Spiegs and I had one.
It just seems like a lot,
NCAA
Is that what it is? Just too much?
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Yeah. Bucknell is well outside of Philadelphia. I mean, it's kind of mid-Pennsylvania.
Closer to Pittsburgh? Nope, mid-Pennsylvania.
No, it's right in the middle of Pennsylvania. Yeah. I don't know why he would be at Bucknell. That is the bigger question.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's closer to State College than it is anything, if that tells you how far out of the way it is.
There's the French fry stuffed sandwich here. It's a good-looking sandwich.
No, yeah, it is good-looking, and I was very excited about it. Scott,
so it's a Reuben stuff with French fries?
It's any...
Yeah, that
looks like roast beef there.
Yeah, I mean, but you can do other meats. It's not only the Reuben.
Okay.
So this was back in the story behind it there, Tyler, is, Pittsburgh Steel Mills. And rather than the sandwich and the fries and the slaw and all that, some guy was like, I'll just put it all in the same thing so the guys could take it into the steel mill and eat it easier. Scott, my experience was the fries got a little soggy in there. I don't know if that was your experience.
No, I think mine were pretty crisp. I mean, I'm with you though. There's it's kind of a confusing sandwich.
Yeah.
There's
I was very excited about it.
there.
Very excited about it, and it was just okay.
See, same equivalent as putting your potato chips on your sandwich and all that, too. Back to basketball before we get to trash, brought to you by our friends at Woodhouse Day Spa.
Yeah, just a great place to go. Send the wife or girlfriend there. They're going to absolutely love it. It is Birmingham's best day spa, located right there conveniently at the Summit Shopping Centers. You can stop in, see Stuart and that great staff. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. You can also buy gift cards 24/7 online for that special person at birmingham.woodhousespas.com. Let them choose from a menu of over 70 options, including massages, body treatment, skincare, waxing, nail services. Woodhouse Day Spa, voted America's best day spa since 2009. Again, for more information and to order online, birmingham.woodhousespas.com.
Johni Broome with an unbelievable stat line. They ran the offense through him to beat Georgia. Here's Bruce Pearl and what he got from Johni Broome on Saturday.
Well, Johni's, that's why he's player of the year. Unbelievable poise. He plays at a great pace offensively. And the fact that he's patient, calculating, the fact that he attacked the rim like he did in this game so much, I mean, that was the biggest difference at the end of the day. We had 4, they didn't. And 4 played pretty good tonight.
Yeah. I think, if you go back 1 week from that game, Johni Broome in the second half in Tuscaloosa is having to ask out of the game and go to the bench and take his shoe off because he had hurt his ankle again. And I think as an Auburn fan, your heart was probably in your throat a little bit for those few minutes that he was out of the game before he came back and looked the way he did. Fast forward to Saturday, he looked as close to 100% as he's looked in a while.
Yeah, I would agree.
Still limping really bad.
He
on
is,
the
but
sidelines.
as close to 100%. I'm not saying he's 100, but it's the best probably the best he's looked since the injury.
Yeah, look, and I don't know how healthy if he's ever going to get to 100%, but I mean, he's still the production's crazy.
Yeah, unbelievable, all over the stat line. Alabama beats Kentucky. It was a nationally ranked Kentucky team. So now Nate Oats has passed Wimp Sanderson for most top 25 wins in a coaching career at Alabama. Here's what Nate had to say about that after the game.
I mean, honestly, I mean, Wimp did a really good job here. I'm guessing that the SEC is a lot better now, so there's a lot more opportunities to get top 25 wins than he probably had. And when they give you the opportunity, you take advantage of them and try to get it done. We don't have enough because we had a chance to get 2 more in the last 2 games before this, and we didn't come up with them. But, I think it does speak to the level of the SEC as a whole, that now we've got all these opportunities. I mean, every team we play, the rest of the year is a top 25 team. So I'm guessing Wimp didn't have that many opportunities like we have, but you also got to go win them. A lot of players that stepped up in big-time games throughout the years, and now a lot of opportunities to get top 25 wins. So combination of the two, it's good time for basketball in the state of Alabama.
He's right about the SEC, but Wimp also didn't schedule anywhere close out of conference the way that Nate Oats does.
No, but you didn't have to back then. But 8 top 25s already when you've still got, a little piece of the regular season to play is really, really impressive. I mean, Wimp, when you look at those teams, he had as much talent as anyone in the SEC. Yeah. So I think, with the SEC as good as it is now, I think it would have made Wimp's program that much better.
Oh, that's right. That's right, because he was oftentimes the second best or best team or third best team in the SEC. So if he had this many top 25 teams, he would have won a lot of those top 25 games. What would you say on average Wimp would have during the regular season 4 shots at a top 25 win?
You'd have to go. Well, I mean, Kentucky was on probation then and digging out of probation. I say then at a time when Wimp was at Alabama.
Arkansas was always top 25.
Yeah, but Arkansas wasn't in the league until 92.
That's
true. And Wimp was very late in Wimp's run at Alabama.
In fact, it was the end of one.
Yeah, it seemed like they played more than just 1 year, though. Did basketball come in 91? No, you wouldn't have had basketball.
Yeah. 92, 93 was their first year.
I mean, there really wasn't a lot of Tennessee wasn't even good.
Yeah, Tennessee was down. That was the Wade Houston years of Tennessee, wasn't it? A lot of those.
Florida was okay. Lon Kruger had some good teams late.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, about four times a year, you get a shot at a top 25 game. Oftentimes, that was Kentucky. And,
but not with Wimp, though, because Kentucky, I mean, you were there.
Yeah, that was the end of Wimp. I mean, he had all the 80s.
But I mean, was Kentucky that good under Joe B. Hall in the 80s? Was it Joe B. Hall in the 80s?
Yeah, they were good. They were good.
You brought up Wimp earlier. I guess you saw him this weekend, right, at the game. I was thinking about Wimp and NIL. Can you like he would have hated it? He would have hated it.
It'd have run him out of the game.
But can you imagine how much he would guilt like different people? You're not going to give us $1 million.
I got to have another 100,000.
Yeah. It would have been incredible to see him operate in the NIL days.
On both sides, talking to the player. You think you're good enough for a $500,000? And then with the boosters, you're not going to give us another $1 million?
Yeah.
You don't love Alabama? Andy Kennedy, by the way, got UAB another win over the weekend. Just so you know.
He's stacking them up, by the way.
11-3 in the AAC. They beat Temple easily. All right, so listen to Andy, and then I'll set the table for what you can go see Andy try to do on Sunday. Here's Andy Kennedy.
If you got to motivate now, bro, you got a bad group, bro. You know, if I'm Newt Rockney now, man, I got a bad group. Something ain't worked. We're 4 games. You know, we're 1 game out of first place. We're in a second place tie with North Texas. We got 4 games to play. We're going to play Wichita State on Thursday. And I've never coached at Wichita State. In my opinion, they're one of the most storied programs in college basketball. Not top 20 storied, but top 50 storied. I mean, they got a passionate fan base. I think they've won 6 straight. So we're going to catch them when the Koch Center, I think it's called. We're going to catch them when the Koch Center is going to be rocking. And I like that. That's what you're here for. Play for big moments. And then you come home, win, lose, or tie, and you got the Memphis Tigers back in your building. So huge week for us. And every game has a huge emphasis, and I think our guys understand that, and we've just got to be disciplined and tough enough to stay to the course.
Yeah, at Wichita State, who's playing better, and then Sunday afternoon, 1 game back of Memphis, and you get them at Bartow Arena, and a chance to get that regular season tie at least with Memphis.
Yeah, playing a lot better basketball right now. Hey, just because he brought up Wichita State. Wasn't there a game played in the late 80s, early 90s where Wimp took Alabama up there?
Oh, yeah.
And was it Marcus Webb maybe that did the dunk?
Broke the backboard.
Was he the one?
He didn't break. I think it was Marcus Webb. Didn't break the backboard. He broke the goal standard. Like, I think he dunked it, and then it just started,
But didn't they have like a huge delay?
Well, that, and I've heard the story from Tom Stipe, actually, who's the Alabama engineer. They had already engineers the radio broadcast. They had already gotten permission from Alabama. They were like retiring their mascot or something and introducing a new mascot. So they did an extended halftime. And Alabama, like Wimp, had agreed to it. Well, you go up there and then you get this massive delay because they broke the goal. So now you got to wheel a new goal in, measure it, get it right. And then you've got this extended halftime. And they said Wimp was pissed. And then Alabama played bad, lost the game. I think Stipe said Wimp resigned in the post-game interview on the radio. Wimp resigned his spot. I mean, that was vintage Wimp, wasn't it? Is that post-game radio? The guy just said, "Yeah, I'm done as Alabama basketball. I can't coach."
God, how big would that news be today if some coach did that?
Yeah, it would have jumped out, right? Headline: Coach resigns. Wait, I didn't really mean to resign. I was just saying I'm done. All right, gets us to trash now. It is brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right. Tyler, if you will, my man.
So, what was your inspiration for tonight? Be honest with me and go into detail.
Wow.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
So you don't like that one?
If you are looking for a new home, our friends at Mortgage Right here to help. Whether you're a first-time buyer or seasoned home buying veteran, their great service and low rates make the process easy. Speaking of veterans, veteran founded right here in Birmingham. So remember, whether you're looking for your final home, your first home, whether you have a big down payment or need 100% financing, Mortgage Right, one-stop shop for mortgages. Visit them online, mortgageright.com. Call 205-970-200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Tyler, how many trash opens do you have in the trash open folder?
Quite a few.
Is it 64? Can we do a bracket?
Oh, yeah, I've got over 64.
Okay, there you go. We can do a bracket, Jim.
Yeah, well, then how does that one pop up all the time?
I like that one.
Jim does it in case you don't. No, I think we can do a bracket. I mean, we would all get to pick the 1 seeds. The 4 of us get to pick the 1 seeds.
Can we pretend it's 1984 and just do 32?
32? Is that going to be too low for you, 64? Okay.
Can we pretend it's the SEC tournament and just do 16?
Go ahead, Les. I'm sorry.
We start first with a collaboration. You guys remember Walk This Way, 1986?
Yeah.
Aerosmith, Run DMC.
Walk this
now
way.
Disturbed frontman David Draymond has revealed he wants his band to collaborate with superstar rapper Kendrick Lamar on a crossover track to rival Walk This Way and Bring the Noise from Public Enemy back in 1991. Draymond thinks Disturbed can have a similar impact if they can convince someone like Lamar to get on board. I'm going to say nothing is ever going to have the impact of 1986 Walk This Way.
I would agree. There is a collab between Pitbull and Bon Jovi that's out right now.
I have not heard it.
The Bon Jovi. Have you heard it, Tyler?
Yeah, it's,
what do you think?
They reworked the "It's My Life" song, and it's interesting.
Pitbull's collabs generally I like Timber with Kesha is fantastic. I mean, there's some I like. That one is just weird.
It's very weird.
It just doesn't work, huh?
Is it new?
Yeah, I think it's pretty new, isn't it?
Yeah, like past a year or two.
Yeah.
Is it just is Bon Jovi singing new, or they just took his studio sound?
I think it's original recording.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't even think Bon Jovi can sing.
I don't think he's
right
got that
now.
voice anymore.
Draymond tells Q101, quote, is something we've actually been thinking about pretty seriously. Kendrick is way at the top of the list. We have this track. It's part of the new group of material, this new album that we have under our belt. It's basically like the modern day Walk This Way or Bring the Noise, very much like that. It's about unity. It's all about bringing people together, and it needs a strong rapper, whoever that might be, and Kendrick would definitely be an amazing person to collaborate with. Don't think it's going to have the impact.
He wore that jacket at the Super Bowl, and I wanted it to say Florida, like the University of Florida.
Yeah, I mean, it's got the color scheme.
But I can't ever tell what it says.
It says no bills.
Huh?
I thought it'd be what you'd want. NOBILLS.
Where do you see
It
that?
says Florida's jacket.
I think it's Florida.
Yeah, I know. I was making up things. It was like Buffalo Bills colors.
Yes.
I thought it was going to be a Buffalo
it
Bills.
says Gloria, which is the name of his closing track on his album.
Yeah.
It was a custom jacket made by Martin
The whole
Rose.
Super Bowl, I thought it
no
said Florida.
Bills would be.
Yeah,
What do you
awesome.
get that
Bills.
jacket for? A couple $100?
Yeah.
It was custom made by Martin Rose, so I'm gonna go with closer to like $5,000.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say 30,000.
Woman is facing charges involving a car that crashed into an Independence daycare on Wednesday, but she wasn't the one behind the wheel.
Oh, no.
Police say the driver was an impatient 11-year-old boy. Count On Me Academy remains partially closed from the crash, only serving younger children on the north side of the building. The other half of the building is blocked off, where a bush is missing in front of the brick building, where there's a large crack and portion of the wall below the window is pushed in significantly, as you see right there. Now, quote, the window was pushed in, it looks like at least 4 inches or more. You can see the edging there, so it's probably going to have to cost a little bit more to get fixed, according to Lisa Greenwall, who works at the salon next door.
Oh, yeah.
Police say a mother arrived at 4 p.m. to pick up her kid from daycare, left her 11-year-old son in the car. Shailene Williams went on to say, quote, it's kind of scary leaving an 11-year-old car in a car unattended. Boy told police his mom was taking too long inside, so he decided to drive off. Thought the car was in reverse, but it was actually in drive. He crashed into the building. Thankfully, nobody was injured. Damage was bad enough. Daycare's owner said they're still working to determine what repairs need to be made.
Well, first of all, you got to bring the bush back, put that in there, and then you got to redo the. That's going to take major repair to that wall.
Police have cited the mother for endangering the welfare of a child for leaving him in the car with it running.
I mean, that used to happen all the time when I was a kid. Here's the difference. Dang.
Yeah, at least they leave the AC on now or the windows down.
I mean, no, my mom would leave the car running, like to run to the store or whatever. But if I were 11 and got behind the wheel and took off, I did not want to go home. I can tell you that, because I do not know what the reaction would be, but it would not have been great from Randy Brown.
Yeah,
he would not have liked that decision by me. I'm not saying he would have killed me.
So thieves used a stolen credit card to buy a winning French lottery ticket worth 523,000 American dollars. But then they vanished before cashing in, and now they're among France's most famous fugitives. Now the man whose card was stolen, identified in police documents as Jean David, is offering to split the cash with the lucky winners. He wants his wallet back as well. Now the thieves, meanwhile, face the risk of arrest. As of Saturday, the lottery operator said that no one had submitted the ticket to cash. Now, Jean David's attorney told the AP, quote, it's an incredible story, but it's all true. Jean David discovered earlier this month that his backpack had been stolen from his car, and it had bank cards and other documents, according to his attorney. Jean David asked his bank to block the card, learned it had already been used in a local shop. That's when he filed a police complaint about the theft, but it was ready. He was ready to withdraw it if the thieves come forward so he can share the money with them. Now, he went on public and said, quote, without them, no one would have won. Prosecutors may try to seize the winnings, according to this, considering them illegally obtained gains, according to his attorney. His attorney launched national appeal Thursday asking their perpetrators to contact his office to make a deal. He went on to say,
zero chance.
You risk nothing. We will share with you, and you would be able to change your lives.
That's what you tell me you will do. Yeah.
Exactly.
Not buying that at all.
I'll tell you what, I have left the backpack at an undisclosed time with, here's my bank account.
Yes. So tell me this. If I steal a lottery ticket here in the United States, I don't know how it would work in France, but if I steal it in the United States, I can't get in trouble for cashing it in. They don't know who bought it, right?
Well, what you're supposed to do, and I don't know anybody that does this.
Sign the back.
Sign the back.
Yeah. But if Dunaway had bought a lottery ticket, he leaves it laying there, I steal it, it's the winning ticket, I go cash it in. They don't know that Dunaway bought that, do they?
I don't want to go to Pat Adams, but I do believe there's video review.
Well, I think there's probably video now everywhere. Like if you win one of the major tickets, I would think that they would go straight to whatever store sold it to you, and they would find out the time of date, and they would pull the records.
Because not that I'm ever counting on winning the lottery, but I buy one.
Are you and Steve still in the conglomerate?
Steve and I still rolling along.
Yeah, no, y'all haven't won anything yet?
Not yet. No, I mean, we keep winning. I don't know if we paid for a ticket in a long time.
So y'all are working on house earnings.
Yeah. I was at Steve's house a couple of weeks ago, and I saw the tickets on the wall.
Yeah.
They were pinned up.
Love it.
I was talking last night. I had dinner with Leighton, and when talking about retirement and talking about lottery, and she was like, well, do you actually play it? And I was like, I don't. I was like, so my chances are zero. But if I do buy the ticket, they're like 1 in a trillion.
Yeah, they're not much better, but they're not zero.
So I always feel like that if, we just have a gentleman's agreement between Steve and I. Technically, he has the ticket. if
didn't win again.
If he and Patty won, they could take the $470 million and said, what are you talking
Steve,
about?
are you FaceTiming from Turks and Caicos?
I feel really good you're not going to get your whatever is in your head your share is. I think he'd chip you something off, though.
Oh, I think our agreement is a 50-50 share.
That's your agreement.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
And I trust Steve, though.
I do too, but I just don't think it would
started off with me just paying for the ticket.
Right.
And I was like, since you're doing the work and picking it up, I'm going to cut you 20%. And then he said, after the first one, he's like, Patty and I want in. Let's go 50-50.
Dude, he's just got to walk across the street to buy them.
Yeah, it's not like he's doing heavy lifting.
No, you can buy them at the front of the Bama.
Oh, you can buy them in the floor Bama
gift shop.
I thought you had to go to the liquor store across the street.
Gift shop.
No, you can buy them in the gift shop?
Yeah.
So he's literally got to go downstairs.
Yeah. Still, I was going to cut him 20% on that, but now we're 50-50 partners.
Good for you.
But I understand that if we win, we got to carve out some taxes and things like that.
So do you just Venmo him? Now y'all are just working on earnings.
We keep winning. We keep running off.
My Venmo's back up finally.
Oh, that's good news.
It took like 10 days.
You were able to settle up Super Bowl?
Yeah. Hey, do you guys ever have to talk to your kids, especially when they were younger, about stupid like viral trends? Like, stay away from this, or is it so obvious
Generally,
and
they're
so stupid?
so dumb. I trust my kids not to do them.
Yeah, I'm at the point now where Harper will tell to me, "Hey, Dad, if you get a text saying you owe toll fees,
well, that's the new one going around.
Don't click on that. You do not owe toll fees." And I'm like, "But baby, I just recently going to Florida, I got that." And she's like, "But you paid that one. No more toll fees.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay that."
That's a weird one.
Yeah,
but that one's going around a lot. A lot of people are getting the text that you owe tolls.
Yeah,
which if you live here, it's pretty much you've gone to Florida, so you know if you owe them or not.
Yeah.
I mean, some of these, they're just stupid. It doesn't make any sense. So a podiatrist has said TikTok users risk a, quote, lifetime of pain and disability by copying a viral trend to drop objects, including air fryers and toasters on their feet.
Well, you're just an idiot. I mean, that's all you're
Now,
proving.
creators on the short-form app have shared videos of themselves dropping heavy objects, including a vacuum cleaner, a glass jug, wooden table on their foot, and ranking how painful each item is. Now, the hashtag dropping things on my foot has been used on hundreds of videos.
Oh, I've seen these. It's
You've seen these?
Yeah, like sorority girls. It's like you and a friend, and it starts off with like, my.
I'm going to drop my junk on your foot and see how bad it hurts.
It's like,
Are you sure you weren't watching other sorority girl feet videos?
It was like air conditioner. It's usually a wide shot like this, and you saw them
It's a
dropping.
legit question.
dropping, an hair conditioner thing.
Right.
Boom. Oh, that hurt. That's a 6.
Also, Scott wants to do this for the bracket punishment.
What? Drop stuff on our foot, Scott?
Yeah, that's acceptable.
No, absolutely
Stupid.
not. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, Scott.
Because in
better
more
than eating
punishment
mac and
than mac
cheese.
and cheese.
Well, I don't disagree, but
It's
we
like
ain't doing that one.
ping pong balls, nothing, right? And then my shoe, boom, and then 3. And then it's like, okay, a bottle of hair conditioner, and you're like, well, of course that's going to hurt when it lands on your foot. Or curling irons. What are you doing?
The damn bar of soap, man. When you get one of those full bars of soap.
It hits you on the wrong way,
The old Irish Spring back in the day. That would ruin a morning.
Hey, by the way, this guy's legs and upper body are disproportionate. I think
he's got a really
I think he's faking it for the camera. I think he's got a fake foot he's dropping stuff on.
Yeah, you might be right.
Look,
he's on stilts.
It looks like he's on stilts. It's completely disproportionate.
So there's a full version of it, but you couldn't see the rest of the picture very well, so I cropped it.
Yeah, but don't you think he's disproportionate, Tyler? His legs look longer than his torso should allow.
Yeah.
No, I think he's just wearing like one of those short hoodies.
He looks like he's on stilts.
Nope, I think the guy's got fake feet.
This is Luke Pilling. He's from Bolton. Received more than 3.8 million views for a video which shows him jumping around his room in pain after dropping a toaster, air fryer, and computer monitor on his foot. Now, ask why he decided to join the trend. A 19-year-old sales advisor said, quote, "Curiosity and just because it was funny. I love making content that I just like laughing at myself." Now, however, Dr. Benjamin Bullen, a lecturer in medicine at the University of Galway, says the trend could risk lasting damage. Goes on to find, I find the viral hashtag dropping things on my feet TikTok trend troubling and strongly encourage readers not to engage in this risky challenge. This trend, encouraging participants to drop sharp and increasingly heavy household objects on their feet, is likely to result in foot injuries.
Likely, yes. I think we wouldn't have to say that, but.
Yeah, and this is a lot of stuff.
Somebody asked, Charles asked, is it Grant Nelson in the photo? That is not Grant Nelson.
Not Grant.
Grant's always got that, I just got out of bed hair, though.
Yeah, you grease up his hair a little bit and throw that mustache on.
Yeah, it could be Grant.
Need Grant to start playing a little bit better.
Yeah.
Down the stretch here. That's Trash. Brought to you by Mortgage Right.
Yeah, whether you're looking for your first home or your final home, our friends at Mortgage Right, they are there for all the advice you need, no cost or obligation. 205-900-7200 or mortgageright.com.
No, there's a vacuum cleaner that guy drops a vacuum cleaner.
I mean, why do you just have somebody kick him in the balls? I mean, if you want to do something stupid.
Lance is right. It doesn't have to be that heavy. If a bar of soap back in the day, if the corner landed on the top of your foot, that hurt like crap.
I mean, you've heard one of the worst pains is stepping on a Lego.
Yep.
I mean, that's the opposite. It's the bottom of the foot, obviously, but
I mean,
there's so many bones in the foot.
You can drop a spoon if it hits it exactly right. It doesn't feel good. Hey, by the way, baseball this weekend. It's too early for college baseball or anything, but Alabama baseball went crazy on the internet yesterday. They were down 10-0 in the Jacksonville College Baseball Classic in the championship game to Ohio State. They'd won every game of the weekend. Ohio State was in the championship game, and Ohio State was up 10-0 in the bottom of the fourth. And Alabama rallied back, and Will Hodo hit a 3-run walk-off home run in the bottom of the ninth to beat them 12-10, 12 unanswered runs. You don't get many 10-run comebacks in baseball. Beat them 12-10. Pretty exciting.
You never get that.
Yeah.
No, you really don't.
Little exciting college fun on Snapchat afterwards with the team photo that got taken down and apologies were given, but
well, they were flipping a bird, right?
Yeah, the whole
was
team
there
was
some bad
shooting.
blood between them and Ohio State?
Well, I don't know if it was, but I would imagine at 10-0 there was some smack being talked. But even if it wasn't, I mean, in our day, how many pictures would I have taken flicking birds off?
Yeah, I don't
Johnny
want
Cash is famous for
I know,
flipping
it's a
it off.
famous-
Yeah, back
it's
to
a
you
great
didn't
photo.
know what I was talking about, the chant. So Arizona, F the Mormons after the
Yeah.
game. Did you not see that?
No, I did not.
Oh, the whole crowd.
The whole at not Mackey Arena at the McHale Center. They
Yeah.
were doing
F the Mormons.
Wow.
F the Mormons.
Yeah, because somebody sent me, my buddy Austin sent the video, and he said, this is like American Primeval.
Yeah, well, I mean, you bring religion into it, but I mean, leading into the Auburn game, pregame and during the game, it was F you Auburn. I mean, it was loud. It was loud.
Oh yeah, you could hear it.
Yeah.
Well, I did not see that with Arizona though.
Yeah.
And there can't be that much bad blood between them and BYU. I mean, that's just they're barely even in conference together.
Big 12 conference, man. They've been there.
Of course, they did abuse. Noah Fafita and his little rat tail got thrown around in that game this year, the football game. So maybe they're still bitter about that.
Maybe that was it. I don't know.
Edge rusher, 4-star edge, Jermarion Matthews picked Alabama over Ole Miss, Clemson, and Penn State. He's from Gainesville, Georgia. That happened in recruiting this weekend. And one other thing that I wanted to get to before we're done. Oh, Bo brought this up. Bo from Sales. Brought this up before. He goes, I was talking to my son about this. I just asked him if he knew what quicksand was on the golf course this weekend. And he said, when I was a kid, he goes, anytime I went in the woods, I was worried about quicksand because of the way we grew up.
It was in every movie.
And I laughed. I said, every TV show, every cartoon, every movie.
Did he send you the video?
Had quicksand.
Or
he did not.
The still shots?
And on top of that, I don't think quicksand works the way it did in the movies.
Right. Like, I don't think it does either.
You just immediately start sinking.
And I'm not even sure if it's real.
So it's 4 different frames with different people struggling with quicksand. It says, when I was a kid, I thought that quicksand was going to be a much bigger problem than it is.
Absolutely.
That's how he brought it up, too.
And I mean, you really did, didn't you?
It was in...
Remember the game Pitfall?
Yeah, Pitfall. Batman seemed like he had to save people from quicksand. Gilligan's Island had quicksand at every turn.
All the time. All the time.
All the old Westerns?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. The Westerns had it, too.
Yeah, I mean, they had it in Blazing Saddles for sure.
Yeah. Oh, what a great name for a restaurant.
Blazing Salads.
Blazing Salads.
Just have like really a hot take on salads.
Very spicy.
Spicy meats. I like that. Blazing Salads. It could be Western themed, too. Put that down. Just crazy. Quicksand. I don't think it's real.
You don't think quicksand... I think it naturally occurs in Africa. But I don't think it's what we make it out to be.
Right.
Like, I don't think if you get in, there's no getting out.
Here we go.
Oh, here we go. Quicksand is a mixture of water and sand, can behave like a liquid. It can form Yeah.
I need to see it in real life.
Yeah, see, there's Indiana Jones dealing with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody dealt with it back in the day. Ends up not being as big of a problem as cartoons made it out to be.
Is Indy telling the monkey to back up?
Yeah, don't get in the quicksand.
Yeah.
It says near estuaries and rivers in the U.S., common on the marshy coasts of Florida and the Carolinas.
See, look out now.
There's American quicksand.
Okay, is it dangerous, though?
I don't know.
Is quicksand dangerous? I mean, I'm much more scared of riptides.
Nope, it says. Yeah.
I mean, did we have
were
to...
sold a bill of goods on that.
Yeah, really.
Yep. Great point by Bo before the show today.
Yeah.
Oh, it says quicksand is denser than the human body, so you actually can't even sink in it.
Oh, wow. People may ask, how many quicksand deaths per year? Tell me that.
I'm betting it's 0 right now.
There's no official record. Well, they scared the piss out of us for that, did they?
Wow, they really...
Yeah, for nothing.
Yeah, there I was
something.
Walking in the woods of Alabaster, Alabama, thinking to myself.
If you get stuck in quicksand, you'll sink up to your waist, but no further.
That's
so
right.
I guess the only way, if you fall, hit your head, and you're knocked unconscious and fall head first into the quicksand.
You're going to suffocate, maybe.
Yeah, that would be it.
Maybe. All right, that's our show today. We're back with you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Central Time. Don't forget, you can get caught up on Bama and Bourbon online. We got a special new last call coming up soon that we're working on. And the basketball show is out today, asking questions like who could be the best sidekick or running mate with Mark Sears out at Mark's Hot the rest of the way for Alabama. And also, is it national championship or bust time for Auburn? All that discussed in the new basketball show. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.